Hello, everybody. What's up? And happy Friday. How's everybody doing today? Use the one of the new intros for Guilty of Crime in the Dark. And technically, this case about Sean Puffy Combs, uh, P. Diddy, Love, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go through all of those names today. And we're going to start out with the beginning. We're going to start from the beginning and we're going to get into how it began. We're going to talk about Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Sean Combs, and how he affected our lives in the 90s as some of us were teenagers, some of us were going to college, some of us may have been older, but we all know P. Diddy when he came out with Ain't Nobody Hold Me Down. You know, that song, the Diddler, yeah. All the remixes going on, yeah. Of course, I'm going to cover what a freak off is. Absolutely. I'm going to cover what a freak off is. We're going to talk about Tupac and Biggie and what the connection is with Suge Knight and Usher and Bieber and the 1,000 bottles of baby oil and what that meant, and the pink cocaine, which is called Tusi. There's so much to talk about. So do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like button if you have not. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Any and everything helps the channel to support it and for me to be here. So that being said, hit the like button, y'all, on your way in. If you leave, on your way out. Very mind-blowing. Very mind-blowing. This case, Bieber's latest album has me crying now. His latest album straight up talks about Diddy's party and how it changed him, and you know he wishes he didn't do it. I mean, yeah, freak off, a PHUK off, whatever you want to call it. Get ready because we're going to cover this now that we're starting episode 1. We will rotate this with Madeline and the content that comes out, and when that stops, we'll do this. We'll do Diddy and whatever breaking other cases come in. All right, y'all. So thank you for being here. What a wonderful crew that I have. I want to welcome all of you, but I really want to welcome Synth Serber. Now, Synth Serber has not gotten her wrench yet, but she is going to be our newest moderator. She's going to do modding and research and helping me and the team organize what we're doing. Vampira. I always thought Diddy ruined Biggie's songs when he interjected himself in his songs and so much more. This is going to be a huge case. And who would I be if I didn't cover Diddy? I was in my teenage years bumping Diddy with my 412s, and all of it impacted me. Miss Odin says, I don't know if I'll ever think of Baby Oil the same. Did you know? And trigger warning for this whole case, because really we're talking about SA and CSA. It's very similar. It's a very similar type of crime that we've been covering with Madeline Soto. All right. So I notice a lot of people that have been affected by CSA or SA or any of that, they're survivors. They're not victims, first of all. They survived. And what happens to the predator or offender if the child or person doesn't get their life taken? What happens next? Every case is a little bit different. So we're going to talk about now the baby oil. It's always grossed you out. Did you know there was GHB in the baby oil? They tested the baby oil, and GHB was in fact being transferred through the skin. That's why when the girls that were getting affected by it said, I didn't even have a drink. I watched my drink. I wasn't drinking that much. I didn't do too much. Well, guess what? They put GHB in those bottles and did what they wanted. So it's such a deep case, y'all. Yeah, GHB oil. What the hell? Marilyn McRae says. Absolutely. They did it all. They did it all. So you guys are going to learn this, the diddler oil. You guys are going to learn a lot, and just keep following me and this case, and hopefully all the other cases that I cover. Yeah, thank you, Bree. You're the one that told me about the transdermal ingestion of GHB. Who'd have thought? I don't think anyone would be thinking about that unless you're a predator or a rapist. Yeah, GHB is not a joke. Not a joke. So Lynette says, I've never heard of GHB. It's the date grape drug. All right. What's up, Alara? Do me a favor, y'all. Hit the like on your way in. Subscribe if you haven't. Grab yourself a Guilty of Crime membership. We are going to do more members only, depending on how many people sign up. All right. So, members only. If you have the means, please donate to the channel, gift memberships to the crime crew and potential crime crew people. If you don't have anything to donate, don't feel bad. You don't even have to talk about it. Just don't. Just don't do it. We're not here to make anyone feel bad. If you have the means, super chat, super sticker, Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, go for it. All right. Appreciate it. Yeah, it is sick. Lisa C., the crime to remember, says right after I mentioned the mayor and Diddy with the key to the city, he was arrested. Boy, do they feel dumb now. And Sid Serber always coming with the facts. GHB takes effect in 15 to 30 minutes and last 3 to 6 hours. Well, thank you. All right. Gracie, good to see you. Or Gracie, Blue Willow, evening. Right now it's 4:12 on a Friday. Wonder how many people didn't survive these parties. A lot of people that knew about the parties sure didn't survive. And we're definitely going to go over all that. Not today, but in general. All right. Don B. Love, watching his defense, tries to twist to say that GHB cannot possibly remember what really happened. Ugh. Yeah, this whole case is ugh. So let's wow, ecotherapy. Tell us about it. I'm totally open to having I love my guests, and we do have the best guests. So ecotherapy, as we get into this case, if you want to come on the channel and talk about it, you can use your face or you cannot use your face. But that would be great for us to hear. I have Penny Mason Deb that did some research for me in the timeline, and we have the indictment. We have the PDF document. That's the indictment. I'm going to get into it today and go over I'm going to highlight the things that need to be highlighted. But I think on the next episode, we are going to read the indictment. And when I say we, I'm going to have Penny Mason with her special superpower skills. She's going to read it with us, right? Or for us. I don't know how we're going to break that down yet, but Penny Mason's awesome. I do have the best mods, Bree, Carly, Patty, Wolfpack, and JoJo, and now Synth Serber. So give it up for them. Give it up loud in your house. Do some celebration. We're growing. We're almost at 18,000. All right. That's a big drink. Thirsty. All right. Thank you. Yeah. If you're drugged, you can't consent. That's like saying you're graped. You can't consent. That's not what that is. Right? Diana, what's up? Foxy says, I went to a gay club with some friends and they had GHB in their water bottles and didn't tell me. I was tripping and so sick the next day. Well, there you go. That's what happens. All right. And you're amazing. If you say how to pronounce your name, I don't know if it's Shauna. I don't want to botch it. Thank you for the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. I hope that you guys get a membership if you want it. Hey, are we live? Yes, we are live right now. Leanne Wilson. So we just got gifted memberships, 5 of them. Thank you. And we're almost at 18K. Please help us get there. Did you see the old clip where Diddy was on a talk show saying to keep the girls at the party, you have to lock the door? I don't believe I believe it was Conan O'Brien. Yeah, we're gonna go over all kinds of clips. We got celebrities, we got celebrities that joined in, celebrities that are telling. Cat Williams has been talking for years, right? All right. Translates to Kenneth. Kenneth. Well, thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that. Been there. I hope you're not deeply affected. Yeah, I hope nobody's deeply affected, but the best place to be would be here with us and get it all off, get it all out, and let's talk. I do plan on having people on my show that want to talk about things and work it out, or just be a guest as a therapy. If you want to do that, let's make that happen. Yeah, Cat and Jaguar. Thank you. Those are big players. Suge Knight, he doesn't take me for a guy that lies from prison. He's telling things like he always has. I believe him. Emma, choo choo. Let's go. Let's get the train going. Gifted memberships. Anything that you can will be helpful. Yeah, Cat Williams and Spitting the Truth. All right, let me start talking about this before I don't feel like reading anymore. I'm gonna read that. I'll go over some I'll read and then show a clip and then read. We'll kind of space it out. All right, yeah, justice is finally catching up, and there's a lot of people involved. It's gonna be like an Epstein thing, but with the Hollywood folks, and we're gonna find everywhere from Hollywood folks to politicians. Paul, what's up? Paul, thank you for all the information that you've been giving to me personally. Crime Remember, Jag's my girl. She's good to have on your side. Absolutely. With this case, I'm hoping to get people coming up. I'm hoping to get, guests, other content creators, and just really blow up this topic and talk about it, get it all out. Choo choo. Thank you so much, Bree, for the $5 super chat. Keep it going, all if you can. Gifted memberships, all the above. And choo choo. Welcome, Jay. Okay, let me get into it. Savage Barbie. Hello, Crime Crew. I've been waiting for this since the 90s. Yeah, I Tupac and Biggie, that did it for me. I'm pissed now. Come on, you want to ride the train, Paul? Oh, did that sound bad? Okay. Controversies and legal disputes, a timeline. All right. So we're going to go over this a bit. We're starting from the ground level on this case here. And so, Matt, no matter what I'm going to start with the beginning. I'm not going to go super into it for an hour, but let's talk about that. The music mogul who fueled the commercial success of a rap over 30-year career. Now, I know most of you probably listened to him, and he was like the new thing, and he collabed with Biggie, and you had his whole team there. We had Mace, and we had it goes on and on. We'll get into all that as we go. So he's facing multiple lawsuits. We saw that unfold, accusing him of SA and misconduct. He was arrested on new charges on Monday. What's the date on this guy? I'm sure it was like 2 Mondays ago. I don't think it was this. I think it was 2 Mondays ago. And someone could let me know. Oh man, choo choo. Stella, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I'll go back if I missed anyone. And I did. Savage Barbie said choo choo. Almost ran out of breath. Thank you for the 5 Guilty of Crime memberships. Scary Sherry, you're always just my girl. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. And we're off. Choo choo. And then Stella continues the ride. Thank you guys. You're amazing. All right. I've been listening to Jaguar Right. I got all this stuff in my pocket the way Diddy has politicians, rappers, regular people, doctors, everything in his pocket. All right. Bree, what do I owe the pleasure of this? Choo choo. For all the Crime Crew members who want to donate but can't afford to, this is for you. $10 super chat. Thank you so much. I didn't know he did that, but let's pretend like he didn't do that, because unless you want me to make a different noise for the train, I could just be like, it's a train. It makes grinding noises. Paul says, do you really think that he had 1,000 bottles? I absolutely think that he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and they tested them positive for GHB, Paul. All right, let's stop looking at the words best crime crew ever. That I agree with, Synth. Let's get into it, Paul. Sean Combs performing in 1999. I graduated in 1997. So that gives you perspective of this. I was 17 when I graduated, so I was 19 here. He was still young there. And although I still do see a darkness about him, and as the years go, it gets worse. So uh, this was September 19th, and they talked about him getting arrested on Monday. So that brings it back to whatever. I'm not looking at a calendar. What if you guys have the date? Let me know. Maybe you'll say it. Sean Combs, hit making hip hop mogul, also known as Puff Daddy or Diddy, is facing multiple accusations of SA in late 2023. He reached a settlement in the explosive lawsuit with Cassandra Ventura, who had alleged that Mr. Combs, 54, raped and physically abused her over a decade. 10 years of this. Mr. Combs was arrested on Monday at a hotel in Manhattan on new federal charges. They're going big. They're going federal. I don't think he's ever going to get out, you guys. So, a key driver of the hip hop's takeover on mainstream pop, Puffy, has had a career in music, fashion, and TV for more than 30 years. And they say he's 54, but Vinnie Politan begs to differ and says he lies about his age. All right. So that has been periodically interrupted by run ins with the law. Y'all remember J-Lo and the gun, and now they're looking back at her again. So that's how we roll here. Foxy Amazon, appreciate you. I always appreciate your comments. And even when you don't agree with me or the crew, you're very tasteful about it. So I appreciate that. Kim Black, you're one of the newer members, and I appreciate you. It's $5 super chat. Sending Diddy to an all male prison seems more like a reward than a punishment, since since he likes boys so much. Yeah. Why can't he just be a gay dude, right? Or a bisexual guy? I just don't understand. I feel like they are shaming all these guys that we now see making out in public or making out somewhere. They're kind of shaming them in the way that they're saying, "Oh, he's a fag" or this or that. I mean, that's not a bad thing. All right, but it is what they do, and it is when you're not consenting. All right, Maryland. So many people are going down. I agree. You guys are amazing, and my whole board is lit up here with super chats, stickers, and memberships. Thank you. Yeah, that's a big deal. The election right now. Yellow Man says focus on the election, not this. Yeah, well, I don't cover election. I don't cover politics here, so I'm gonna go over this. I see your comment about 5 times, so appreciate you. Let's stay nice, okay? Let's stay nice because I want to see you in chat. Larissa says, "Oh my God, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you for being here." All right. All right. Let's keep going, y'all. Appreciate you. So, an ambitious intern's rocky ascent. This is 1991. Mr. Combs, a relatively unknown 22-year-old radio station intern, co-hosted a celebrity basketball game with rapper Heavy D. Y'all remember Heavy D, right? Now that we found love, what are we gonna do? Remember that? Okay. A stampede erupted among the jammed crowd inside the oversold City College of New York gymnasium, killing 9 people. A report commissioned by Mayor David Dinkins criticized Mr. Combs for allowing inexperienced underlings to plan the event and for tricking ticket buyers about the event's charitable intentions. City College is something I deal with every day of my life, Mr. Combs said in 1998. But the things that I deal with that can in no way measure up to the pain that the families deal with. I just pray for the families and pray for the children who lost their everyday lives. A year later, as an intern of Uptown Records, Diddy, well, it was known as Mr. Combs Production in the remix. Oh, and Jodeci was also one of my favorites. You guys remember Come and Talk to Me? Helped the single to sell 3 million copies, announcing him as a rising talent. Now, I don't know when I tell you guys I like these people, don't get upset yet because I'm uncovering this with you. And some of the things I don't know. I don't know all of them. Kenneth. I can't have ice cream without whipped cream. Heavy D. Yeah, I love that guy. He showed up and he did cameos sometimes, like little actor cameos, and I would see him on. I remember him being on Tales from the Crypt, and I was so excited. All right, let's see, Bree. If you saw pictures, it's a lot of baby oil. Imagine the CEO of Johnson and Johnson realizing he won't be getting an order from Diddy this month. Agree. He says 56, Larissa, and other times he says other things. So, but choke, no joke is really intriguing. Diddy's 55. So, yeah, you can see. Are you doing P. Diddy? AH. Huh. Yes. Yes. I'm not sure what you said, Leanne, but ask again so I can see what you're saying. Let's get through this. Has anyone seen Chappelle's take on Diddy? Cambodian breast milk. No, but I'd love to. And we got to make sure that we don't get dropped when we do this. Baby oil's going to go up in price. So I'm lucky I don't use that stuff. Savage says, I'm obsessed with this case because of the night. Me too, because of the 90s. And that was my go to. Let's bump it and go have a party. I also love Usher, and I didn't realize what extent he was involved. Eco, what's up? So, yeah, let's take one more comment and then I'll keep going. Emma says, I love Usher, but if he just handed Bieber over to Diddy like that, knowingly, I can't support him going forward. I agree. Anybody that I find going forward in that manner, I won't be supporting them. Leanne, I am covering Sean Puffy Combs' crimes, freak offs, timelines, and victims. Yes, that's who I'm covering right now. Chugga 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 chug. That's what I'll make. I'll make the chug sound. Chugga 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 chug. I won't do the other one. $10 super chat. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Beer. All right, I'll do chug. It does explain a lot about Bieber. All right, let's keep going. So, a year later, as an intern of Uptown Records, Mr. Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love, whatever you want to call him. Let's see, as an intern, Mr. Combs' production on the remix of Jodeci's Come and Talk to Me helped the single sell 3 million copies, announcing him as a rising talent. He went on to help producers remix for Heavy D, the reggae artist Supercat, and Real Love by R&B singer Mary J. Blige, which introduced the rapper to Notorious Big. Wow. See, I learned a lot of this stuff, but I'm refreshing on it. So there's the stampede of 91 that he got criticized for. People were killed during a celebrity basketball game at the city college. All right. So starting Bad Boy Records was in 94. This is a great timeline, y'all. Thank you, Petty Mason, for sending this over. The list of names is very long, and we're not going to be able to cover this case in 1 day, 2 days, or even a week. All right. It makes me want to sing with so much train love, right? I'm going to have to do chugga, 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 chugga. And I'm going to chugga, chugga, chugga for Kim Black. Love who you love. Let it be consensual. No grape drugs. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Love is love. That's all I got to say. All right. We got a lot to go into today. A lost of CSAM comes back when you have a baby, and that works for men too. Thus, why Bieber is having a hard time helping Haley with Little Jack Blues. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. He's very public about this. So, Bad Boy Records started in 1994. Y'all know that. Mr. Combs' Bad Boy Records, founded a year earlier after his termination from Uptown, scored its first major success as Notorious Big's Ready to Die album peaked at number 15 on the Billboard 200. I love that album, right? The debut drew critical acclaim for its portrayal of both the excitement of drug dealing and stress caused by threats from other dealers, robbers, the police, and parents. The New York Times wrote at the time and spawned the hit records Juicy and One More Chance, as well as Big Papa. That one's great. To date, the album has been certified 6 times platinum. Wow, I wish we could play music on here, y'all. They don't like that. His work on Blige's My Life album that year garnered his first Grammy nomination. kudos to Notorious Big. Love him. What a timeline this is, right? If we could take a story and just grab all the Hollywood people and mix them in, that's what this is. All right. What is this? Hashtag Diddy didn't hang himself, right? That is, I'm totally thinking about that too. Miss Odin says 111 love. Let's say a prayer right now because we're talking about big, and let's say a prayer for all those women that are now, well, survivors, but they were victims at one point. I hope they're okay. I hope they're going to get through this okay, and I hope that they get some kind of compensation or whatever it is they're seeking. Indie girl, I'm glad you got a membership. All right. You feel bad for Justin Bieber. Yeah, we're going to go through all this. There's so many bads I feel bad for. Oh, Hollywood is a cult itself. Yeah, let's keep going. Missing Notorious Big. 1997, I graduated from high school and we're missing Notorious Big. Mr. Combs charted some of the most notable accolades of his career before and after the death of Biggie, born Christopher Wallace, who was killed in a drive-by shooting on March 6, 6 months after the taking of Tupac Shakur's life, his rival. Interesting. Opening the year with the release of Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. Everyone knows that. Mr. Combs' first single as artist, Puff Daddy. These songs spent 6 weeks at number one, ahead of the anticipated release of a full length album. For months after Wallace's death, No Way Out, credited by Puff Daddy and the Family, debuted at number one of the Billboard 200, selling 561,000 copies in its first week, and will be spawning multiple chart topping singles. The biggest of those, I'll Be Missing You. That was one of the biggest songs for funerals. Oh, every funeral, and there was quite a few back then, had that song, and in a lot of movies. All right, featured Wallace's widow, Faith Evans. You remember her in R&B group 112. You guys, the real true fans of hip hop and R&B, gotta know this, right? Yeah, there are a lot of victims here, and hopefully survivors. All right, make sure I didn't miss any super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships. Tupac's mom has passed on. Right. So sad. LOL. Well, right. The feds are holding him down, and I hope they continue to do so. Mary J. Blige. Yeah, I love Mary J. Loved her back in junior high. All right, where are we? He can get held down. We're going to just be name dropping so many celebrities throughout this episode and all the other episodes. Okay, that year, For the 10 Songs reached number one. Damn, by Bad Boy Records. Now, arrest for allegations of public violence. After a dispute over the use of footage in music video, the record producer Steve Stout claimed Mr. Combs and his bodyguard beat him with a champagne bottle and telephone, a chair, and their fists during an April incident. Now, this is something you'd expect from Suge Knight, right? If Suge Knight didn't get his way, y'all, Suge Knight would just grab your legs and do Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of let me just hang you off the balcony. All right, that guy I expect from him, but this guy's winning awards, and I just don't get it. I don't see it. He's just an evil guy, in my opinion. Nicolette, hey Uncle Jay and friends. If you guys don't know, you got to go on to Oblivious Benson's channel. We're all family. We get the opposite names. So if I'm an aunt, I get called uncle. If I'm an uncle, I get called aunt. It's pretty funny. Yes, let's squash the like button. Get me 205 likes, please. Feds have him in the same area that Epstein and Maxwell were held in. Yes. Yeah, Suge Knight's brutal. Suge Knight's still brutal, and he's set to be out in 2034, if I'm correct. 10 years from now, but he's a beast, y'all. And Aaliyah, we're gonna have to talk about that. That day, the whole world cried for Aaliyah. I remember being out in my front yard and hearing about the plane crash. That was not just an accident, y'all. Yeah, Diddy is where Epstein is or was. All right, let's get through the reading so we can watch some things. I know you guys are watching me, blah, 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 but it's very important information to understand this case. All right. I should have got Petty up here so I could just puff while she's reading. Combs faced up to 7 years in prison, and obviously to get it, had he been convicted of felony assault. Instead of, Mr. Stout asked the Manhattan District Attorney to drop the charges after Combs publicly apologized. Mr. Combs had said he was upset that Mr. Stout, an Interscope Records executive, used footage of him being crucified on a cross in the video for rapper Nas. Hate Me Now. I know you guys know who Nas is. Puff soaked Interscope offices with champagne bottles on Steve, and Steve thought the drama is on me. Nas wrote in 2002, 22 years ago, y'all, that immortalized the altercation. That December, an argument broke out at a Manhattan nightclub where Combs was spending a night with the actress and singer J-Lo, or Jennifer Lopez, his girlfriend at the time. I know you guys want to hear about this because it's starting to come back around. At least 2 people were injured by gunfire. The details and timeline of the interaction remained muddled throughout a highly publicized trial. The famed attorney Johnny Cochran Jr. defended Mr. Combs, and multiple witnesses testify that the music executive had held a gun. Mr. Combs was charged with the gun, possession, and bribery, but found not guilty. His one-time protege, the rapper Shine, born Jamal Barrow, received a 10-year prison sentence for assault, gun possession, and reckless endangerment. So he's the real goat here, or they just put that on him. He's the person that they said this is what we're gonna do. All right. I just sent $11.99 to Spotify. I didn't even sign up for Spotify. I'll have to check that out after. I thought you guys were cash apping me. All right, let's check my. So there's Nas Hate Me Now. Let me check with you guys. Let's see. All right, I haven't missed anything, but I love that you guys are sitting there chatting and excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you all for being here and commenting and all that. Yeah, Wolfpack, Clark, Wolfpack, and the whole crew of the ladies are amazing. Absolutely. We did have a male moderator at one point, but I don't know what happened there. It was kind of a nice balance to have him in there and take the brunt, but it didn't work out. So, all right. Didn't J-Lo hold the gun in her purse and also go to jail? She did it. It's coming back out right now. They're trying to look at her again for that, which is very interesting. Yeah, scapegoated him for sure. Absolutely. All right. I love this deep dive, which is what it's going to be. Now, Making the Band Demands, this is in 2002. And if I could do a visual at some point of this, I'd like to show you guys a timeline with all the stuff. That's what we're doing right now. So in 2002, Mr. Combs took over MTV's Making the Band. You guys remember that? Ooh, I wonder how many kids were assaulted then, y'all. A reality show aimed at assembling budding rappers and singers into performing groups. Danity Kane. You guys remember Danity Kane? The Seasons produced the ensemble act, the band, and Danity Kane, and portrayed Mr. Combs as a demanding boss who famously made members walk from Manhattan to Brooklyn to secure him cheesecake. Oh, man. In the recent years, multiple band members have spoken out against what they described as mistreatment from Mr. Combs as bad contracts. The band's Freddie P described Mr. Combs as the reason he hates life in an Instagram post last year. We're going to have to dig into these people. That summer, Mr. Combs terminated the label's joint venture with Arista, leaving the deal with full ownership of Bad Boy Records and its back catalog. Despite the label's run of R&B hits and attempts to find a rap act of the magnitude of Notorious Big and Puff Daddy, remained its most reliable star. Man, this guy is just insane. Thank you guys for being here. LOL, you just said it as I typed it. All right. Yes. And a kid watching that I knew I was wrong. Understand wanting to go for your dream, but no way. Well, Mai Tai, I'm glad that you weren't able to go and do that. Thirsty. Too much talk. All right, let's go. Okay, now we're talking about cheesecake. And yeah, Patty, I'll get you in here soon to help me read. Carrie Myers sent me $1 from Cash App for Spotify. Thank you, Carrie. I appreciate you all and all your donations. Let's chug, chug, chug along. All right, we have a big show today, y'all. Don't drop out. I see people coming in and out. If you do, just hit that like button. And mom, hello to Pearl Lopez, which is my mom. She finally made it. I love you, mom. And you were there when we were watching on that big screen TV all the rap videos back in the day. Thank you for being a wonderful mom. I love you. Ice cubes clinking. Jay, what are you sipping? I actually have a brisk iced tea, and I like the iced tea to be really cold. Yeah, just a sugary drink on a Friday. And I had a squirt and iced tea. All right. I don't drink alcohol anymore. Yeah, that was years ago. And my mom will attest to how much I used to drink years ago. I was in my early 20s, so it was just what you did back then. Go get a drink, strap in, because we got a crazy story. It's not a story, it's real life. Okay, you guys remember Shake Your Tail Feather, the single from Bad Boys, back at #1, performed by Nelly, Murphy, Lee, and P. Diddy, as Combs was then known, hit #1 on the Billboard 100 and garnered Mr. Combs' second Grammy. That guy got a Grammy. I'm sure he got plenty of them for the best rap performance by a duo and third overall. All right. So 2014, I'm sorry, 2004 to 2013, building an empire beyond music. Combs, or Diddy, expanded his business business empire beyond the record industry, earning top men's wear designer honor from the Council of Fashion Designers of America for his Sean John clothing brand. You guys remember that? Also, he's got the vodka. 2004, forging a partnership to release Ciroc vodka. I think it's called Ciroc. In 2009, and then founding Revolt TV. 2013. Now, I don't know about Revolt TV. If anyone knows, let me know in chat. 2015, another arrest on assault charges. In 2015, Diddy was arrested and charged with the assault of a deadly weapon, making terrorist threats, and battery after an altercation with a UCLA football coach. In a news release, the university described the weapon as a kettlebell. Justin Combs, Mr. Combs' son, you guys all know P. Diddy's son. He's now in the spotlight for being involved. He began playing football at the university in 2012. The Los Angeles County District's office said that prosecutors decided against pursuing the felony charges of the incident, according to Washington Post. All right. So November 2023, we're getting to this time frame of being here in 2024. So you guys can absolutely like, share, subscribe, and share with your friends on YouTube. If your friends or your people or your brother or sister or whoever watches true crime, tell them to watch this episode, because it's going to give a great foundation to what happened, and then we're going to expand. So we really are doing a deep dive, all broken up. MM says, I love the Patreon. Choose your price. I once get my credit cards paid down, I'll increase my amount. Thank you, MM. Anything and everything helps, and I never want to hear anyone is struggling. Who knows what's in Ciroc, right? Who does know, right? Who knows? What a lie. Remember the posh pose for Rockaware? Yep. When she did wear R&B album. No, it's just me. Still have the ad somewhere. Send it over. Send it over. Yeah, his son's highly involved in this and will probably be doing time right alongside him. His house of cards is collapsing, and thank God, the man above, the person above, the spirit above, the above. Whoever's watching out for us, prayer. Ooh, I like that. Scary Sherry just cracked open a beer. I'll say cheers with my iced tea. His son's name is Christian, and that's my son's name is Christian. All right, 209 people in chat. Hit the like button, please. All right, we're getting it there. November 2023. About 10 months ago, an explosive lawsuit interrupts Combs' hip hop celebration. Amid the commemorations of the 50th anniversary of hip hop, Mr. Combs, or Diddy, was honored for pioneering role in the expansion of the genre with a citation as the global icon at MTV Video Music Awards in September, on the heels of being recognized with a Lifetime Achievement by BET 2022. And of course, everyone loves that, and we all love people of color, African Americans, anybody that is doing really well and representing the community and doing good things. We all love and we adore and we look up to. So it's like Bill Cosby, right? So disappointing. In November, Mr. Combs' The Love album, Off the Grid, was nominated for a Grammy for Best Progressive R&B Album. Later that month, R&B singer Cassie, who was once signed with Bad Boy and who had a lengthy romantic partnership with Mr. Combs, filed a lawsuit in federal court that accused him of raping and repeated physical abuse over a decade. She's so young, so young. Man, so this is I'm glad that she's getting a semblance of justice, and I know we can never change the abuse that happened to her, but I hope she does get therapy and really just is able to heal. Miss Odin says, I adore you, Jay, and mods, and chat. Always someone. Thank you. All right. How did people not know someone who chose to name himself P. Diddy as a diddler? Well, when we see many shows with Diddy on, he says so many things that when we look back in hindsight, he's telling us exactly what he's doing, and nobody catches it. They just laugh and chuckle with him. All right. Synth says, just FYI, Jay, your like to viewing ratio is really good. Gizela had one that was 47,000 views, but only 5,000 likes. You are doing great. Well, thank you, Synth. Let's keep that up. That means that the crime crew and people that pop by that don't know me actually like my content and they want to stay. So that's great. Ecotherapy. What they aren't talking about is all the women grape drug by the entourage. You're right. They're going for the top dog at this point. Normally the feds go for the smaller people to get to the bigger people, and I wonder how they're gonna unravel that. All right. I wonder how that's gonna unravel. Crime crew or people through me was just kidding. What did you say? And we're all good for just kidding. Gotta keep our mojo up so we're not being upset because we are talking about brutal crimes. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wish I would have known that when I was like 17, 18. I wish I would have learned that. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Believe them. All right. Yeah, everyone hit the like. I love how you guys are all helping the mods, and everyone's like their own little mod, and you guys don't put up with anything. All right. I don't have to do it. You guys do it for me. All right. So Diddy and Cassie. Right. So we got into what this just happened. This is November 2023. Time goes quick. So she sued him civilly and she didn't even have to go through with it because they made a made an agreement outside of court. He paid her $20 million and done. But it doesn't mean she still can't talk what she's doing now. Cassie's full name, Cassandra Ventura, said in the lawsuit not long after she met Combs in 2005 when she was 19, he began a pattern of control and abuse that included plying her with drugs, beating her, and forcing her to have, you know what, sex with a succession of male prostitutes, which we hear a lot. I don't think I know Diddy's a voyeur, and I know that he is open to anything, whether he's bisexual or what. He likes men, he likes women, and he likes watching. While he filmed the encounters in 2018, the suit said near the end of their relationship, Combs, Diddy, whatever, forced his way into her home and raped her. Through a lawyer, Combs said that he vehemently denies that these offensive and outrageous allegations. They got it on video, dude. One day after Miss Ventura filed the suit, the two parties reached an agreement to resolve the case. $20 million, y'all. Yeah, these are secrets that need to be told, life artists. They need to be told because there are too many people that are drawn into Hollywood and the entertainment world, and they sell their souls to the devil. Right? They sell their souls to the devil. And more people need to know if you're going to go into that or you put your child into it, you're putting them in harm's way. I don't think my wife really realized what Hollywood meant when Reese was little. And you guys know Reese is adorable. She's not only adorable, she's smart, but the things she says will blow you away. She could be a little actress. But I said no. I told Tori, absolutely not. You're not thinking straight. Every little girl that goes in there and is cute like that and is going to get higher up, something bad's going to happen to them. And I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with that happening. I'm going to stick with that so that I don't. No, absolutely not. She is. She's beautiful. Two. And just on an overall, let's just say a prayer for Reese that she's always protected and, God's watching over her and that she has his protection. Her spirit is protected. I love her and I always want her to be protected if I'm with her or not. Yes, my baby. My baby. All right. Let's see. Mr. Beer says, poor Cassie. I remember when you and me came out, was in the club, never knew that she was going through. Don't chase fame, so dark. I agree. I am so glad that, and I'm not saying I'm famous, but I'm on this YouTube platform, which makes me vulnerable to being in the spotlight or people trying to hook me in with money or fame. But I have my own, I can make my own decisions. I'm not riding on anyone's coattails and I don't have to do anything for them that's bad. So, classic one says, right, my daughter wanted to be a model. I told her, hell no. Yes. And he does have daughters and he doesn't care, but he has sons and he does it to boys and girls. That's it. Yeah, the industry does sexualize children. It's disgusting. You guys should watch, I think it's Hulu or Netflix that talks about the dark side of the 90s and Nickelodeon. So bad. All right. Yeah, Stella, thank you. We're praying for you and you're always surrounded with God's protection and love and peace. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Beer. All right. Let's keep going so we can get to everything as much as we can. All right, what do we got? Okay, here it is. Through a lawyer, Mr. Combs said that he vehemently denies one day after Ventura filed the lawsuit, the two parties reached an agreement to resolve the case. One day after. Does that show guilt? Though they disclosed no details about the terms of the settlement, I have decided to resolve the matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control of. Well, because Diddy needs to be in control. Miss Ventura said in a statement, Mr. Combs said in the wait. Miss Ventura said in a statement that Mr. Combs said in a statement, we have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love. Now you got to understand that he did know the family. 10 years is a long time. She's seen a lot. So 1 week after he settled the lawsuit with Cassie, he was accused in the second lawsuit, and thank God for Cassie, of essaying another woman, Joy Dickerson Neal, in 1991. I'm glad there's not a statute of limitations on this. In her suit, Miss Dickerson Neal accused Combs of drugging her during an evening out in New York when she was on a break from Syracuse University, where she was a student. She was eventually driven to the place Combs was staying, where, according to the lawsuit, she accused him of raping her and recording the encounter on video, which is what he did very often, right? All right. Thank you guys for all being here and hanging in. I can't believe I've been on here for 50 minutes giving you guys a backstory and you're still hanging in and hit the like button and donating. Thank you. Appreciate you. I think we'll be through this soon. Yeah, we're almost done. Gotta tell the backstory. If I'm gonna open this can and tell you guys, you guys gotta know. All right, so we're up to the lawsuit being filed, them settling out. Okay, less than 2 weeks later, a third woman uh, came out and accused Combs that he and two other men raped her inside a New York recording studio. Of course, when she was 19. The women, who are not named in court papers, said she met two associates of Combs at a lounge in Detroit in 2003. Now, I've heard this story time and time again, and I believe it 100%. When she was in 11th grade, in the complaint, she alleged that they took her on a private plane to New York. Now, he did this over and over, keep in mind, where three men gave her copious amounts of drugs and alcohol and then took turns raping her in the studio's bathroom as she drifted in and out of consciousness. When they were done, the suit said the woman fell into a fetal position in the bathroom, and I would imagine that's heartbreaking. Trigger warning. She said she was soon driven to the airport and put back on the plane and shipped to Michigan, back home. Combs again denied wrongdoing. Let me be absolutely clear. He said, I did not do anything of these awful things being alleged. He said in a statement, I will fight for my name, my family, and my truth. What a liar. Okay, now we're in February 2024. This is when I started streaming, y'all. End of January, beginning of February is when my YouTube career came into place. So, yeah, it's crazy. Mr. Beer says, well, yeah, that's too much baby oil. No one needs to stock up to survive. Baby oil, GHB, 2C, which is the pink cocaine. Yes, Jay keeps us hooked to this, right? Right? Yes, so glad you're following this. How could I not follow this, right? It's in my era, and Tupac and Biggie were one of my favorites, both equally. Hashtag Diddy's done. Yes. All right, let's keep going. Thank you guys again for being here. February 2024, I started streaming, and this happened. Music producer Lil Rod files $30 million sexual misconduct lawsuit. All right. So $30 million, no big deal for Diddy, right? Sex acts as they worked into Mr. Combs' 2023 album, the Love album, Off the Grid. Now, I don't remember this one at all, everybody. I felt like at this time his music all sounded the same, and it wasn't that great, in my opinion. So, in this complaint filed in a district federal court in Manhattan, Mr. Jones said that Combs grabbed his genitals without consent, and that he also tried to groom Mr. Jones into having sex with another man, telling him it was a normal practice in the music industry. I imagine he did this often. Mr. Combs, through his attorney, denied the allegations in a statement. Sean Hawley called the lawsuit a transparent attempt to garner headlines. He added, we have overwhelming, indisputable proof that his claims are complete lies. Now we're into March 2024. Federal agents raid the two homes tied to Combs. I know you guys all remember this. I remember this like this was just last week. Isn't this crazy? Do you remember that? Do you remember when you hear Diddy's homes get raided? You're like, wait, did he get arrested? What happened? LG says liquid ecstasy. I read where it's normally bottled in small bottles, though. Well, I don't think there was a normal for anything. I think Combs did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, however he wanted. All right, do me a favor, hit that like button, y'all. I know you're listening to me read, and it's been so I love presenting this information. I hope y'all are still here with me and you're listening, paying attention, because it's all going to tie together. Diddy doesn't have anything to do with Digital Underground. I don't know. I need to look into it, but I do love Digital Underground, and everybody's tied to everybody in Hollywood. And the only ones that are not are the ones that said, no, I don't want anything to do with what they knew was going on. Jojo, keep the baby oil away from your baby, right? It feels like the 90s were last week. Sure. All right. So Combs gets his house raided. Federal agents from the Department of Homeland Security, March 25th, raided Los Angeles and Miami, connected to Diddy, responding to questions about the news reports on the raid Diddy residence that day. Homeland Security said in a statement earlier today, HSI New York executed law enforcement actions as part of the ongoing investigation with assistance from HSI Los Angeles and the HSI Miami, their local law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. All right, so please block off the road. You can see that picture there. That's the house tied to Diddy. And then we move to September 24. Wow, this is a great timeline. Let me see. Who's texting me? Paul. I can see you, Paul. What are you talking about? I posted them so you can. I'm not sure what you said, but I love you, Paul. I love you guys. I need two people to do this one job. All right. If you guys can, let's give some memberships. We just hit 222. All right. Prayer for all of the survivors, the victims, and everybody that was assaulted that needs therapy and to move into a better place. All right. Jamie says, I do, Jay. It was in March. Right. But it feels like it was yesterday. Let's go. Okay. September 2024, authorities arrest Combs on federal charges. Wow. Okay. We're in September right now. It's September 27th, 2024. So this just happened. He was arrested in a hotel in Manhattan on Monday. All right. So now he just returned from being out of the country, right? So they keep saying, oh, he could have ran and he didn't. That means he's not guilty. So last week, voluntarily head of an expected indictment. The indictment was sealed, but Mr. Agnifilo said he believed that the charges included racketeering and trafficking of humans, right? People. And the SA. Federal prosecutors said in the statement they will likely unseal the indictment within a day. You guys got to remember, I have that indictment. But before I get into it, I'm going to play a video and give myself a rest. All right. A correction was made on March 26, 2024. An earlier version of this article misstated the given name of a woman who settled a lawsuit against Combs. She is Cassandra Ventura. Oh, they spelled it wrong. Not Cassandra. Oh, Cassie, a.k.a. A correction was made on September 19th, 2024. 8 days ago, an earlier version of this article misstated Forbes magazine and their estimate of Sean Combs. The magazine's most recent estimate for his net worth was $400 million. The magazine never listed him as a billionaire. Wow, we got through this. Woo! Thank Petty Mason for doing this, for getting this. All right, now we gotta do this, y'all. So trigger warning, gotta show the video of that assault that happened this year. And I imagine there were so many other assaults that we didn't see that are gonna come out in court. So many things. Right? Trigger warning, video that shows Diddy beating singer Cassie in a hotel in 2016. 8 years ago, and then he's going to apologize. I'm going to show you that after in a whole other clip. He looks evil to me in that video of him apologizing, and he gets more evil over the years. All right, y'all, trigger warning, please. If you're triggered by this kind of stuff or you were abused, you're a victim, a survivor, please just be careful with what you're consuming. And always, I'm always here. You can email me, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. Paul, nobody blocked you. It might have been YouTube for the words. We have certain words we can't put, but we didn't block you. No worries. All right, y'all ready? If you haven't seen this, this is Diddy abusing Cassie, the one that put the lawsuit, and he settled it in a day.
New surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. There is no audio. According to the complaint, Combs became extremely intoxicated and punched Miss Ventura in the face, giving her a black eye, which, according to the lawsuit, prompted Ventura to try and leave the hotel room. The surveillance video obtained by CNN begins as she enters the hallway. The complaint says as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura. He followed her into the hallway of the hotel while yelling at her. The complaint goes on to say he grabbed her and then took glass vases in the hallway and threw them at her. In the surveillance video, Combs can be seen grabbing Ventura and throwing her to the ground. As Ventura lies on the ground, Combs then kicks her twice and attempts to drag her on the floor back to the hotel room. Ventura is seen picking up a hotel phone. Combs seems to walk back to the hotel room, then returns and appears to shove her in a corner. Moments later, he can be seen throwing an object in her direction. According to Ventura's now settled lawsuit, the pair began dating several years after they met in 2005. They parted ways in 2019. Combs' attorney said the decision to settle was in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
Of course.
Ventura declined to comment on the video, but her attorney told CNN the gut-wrenching video has only further confirmed the disturbing and predatory.
And who thinks that Diddy, yeah, Jamie, you nailed it, a monster. I don't want to post that up, but wow, a monster. Who sees him and sees him in his younger days where he was having fun with Can't Nobody Hold Me. He did a lot of remixes and things, and he would bring older music out and make it current. But as the years progressed, his eyes got darker, not because he's older, but because he's done, I believe, a lot of things allegedly. All right, y'all, I love you guys. I can't right now keep up with my text messages of what's happening in chat. So if you guys can try to work it out right now, and yeah, we can talk about it after. I see some comments and some things coming in that I can't get to, but I hope everybody's okay in chat. Petty, it triggers, but I don't avoid looking. Facing reality and fears, I'll only be able to watch cartoons. Maybe not that all. Gotta suck it up. And you don't have to suck it up. We do love you. For your mental health, please, keep your distance if you need to. Yeah, feds, crime, remember, feds, things are different when the feds have you. I agree. Stonefly. All right, let's finish this and listen to his, in my opinion, pathetic apology after this.
The Tory behavior of Mr. Combs. Words cannot express the courage and fortitude that Miss Ventura has shown in coming forward to bring this to light. The video hasn't been seen publicly before and comes on the heels of a series of civil lawsuits alleging Combs' involvement in sex trafficking and sexual abuse. Allegations Combs has repeatedly denied. In a December 2023 statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged."
And that was Elizabeth Wagmeister reporting with that story.
Thanks, CNN. And I hope you guys, if you haven't seen this, thank you for watching it. It was me today. I hope you guys, after this, get a break from this stuff. Go do something funny. Go watch some cartoons with your kids, whatever. Go get some pizza. All right. Let's listen to his pathetic apology that I can't even believe he put out there. All right.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest.
Oh, it's gonna play.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted.
Do you guys think that he realizes that the walls are closing in on him and things are going to start coming out? People are talking, and what do you guys think? What do you think? And wow, congratulations to Synth. Synth Server has her wrench. our new mod synth server. Funny how there's always a space alien clone that's caught on camera doing this stuff, but when it comes to admitting their sins, they act dumb. Oh, synth, do I have another case for you? Another case that has to do with essaying and CSAing, and yeah, we're gonna do some more. We're gonna do some more of that on here and talk about what happens to survivors after they are abused and their life isn't taken. How do they deal with it? What happens? What happens to the predators? What happens? So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do some more of that on the channel. The apology's empty, and he just looks like the devil. Yeah, he's had many people unalive that too. He does look like a bum, and he's another R. Kelly, in my opinion. You know, I gotta tell you guys, speaking of taking a break from true crime and this kind of thing, I watched the R. Kelly documentary on Hulu, and I could not even finish it. After hearing grape after grape after grape and him peeing on people and assaulting them, I couldn't anymore. I had to turn it off. They buy them away. He does look like a bum. Synth. All right, let's keep going. We still got a lot to cover.
Then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day.
He looks scared to me, like he not only is going to get caught, but you got to imagine Diddy's got a boss too. We all have bosses, no matter how high up we are. And I mean, or you can think of it as God. God watches us, that higher power. We really, that's our boss. That's who we report to. That's what we got to put ourselves in check. But to me, he looks like he's afraid that he's going to lose his spot. And the person that he's pleading to is whoever his boss is that's saying, man, this guy's out of control. He's going to get us all caught. That's what I'm thinking when I see this. Yeah, Diddy boss is Satan. That's exactly what I see. And I know he's lying, but who is he pleading to? It's not to us. He can care less what we think. Hello, Melissa Johnson. Happy Friday. We love you too. I hope you're doing better and feeling better. Yeah, there's been people calling him out for years, but who does he report to? Randy B. He does look strung out. Yet he carried on doing it. Yeah. All right. Devoid of a moral compass. Yeah. Satan doesn't even want him. All right, one more, and then wasn't there suspicion about him having to do the murder of another? Oh, Michelle. Not even a suspicion. We pretty much know that he hired a hit for Tupac and Biggie, and we'll talk more into that. And just think about Kim Porter as you do. So much in this.
I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry. It's so difficult to reflect on the...
All right, that was his poor excuse for an apology. And whoa, look at how big I am. Okay. Redhead. Satan uses them, then devours you, right? All right. Crime Remember says he was doing meet and greets with people, smoking. His lawyer lied, and when he said he was turning himself in, Diddy jet was grounded. He rented one and was ready to leave. Right? Yeah, they just wanted to have an excuse. Paul says Jay Diddy has been under investigation for 10 years. He always knew, just didn't care. Yeah, he didn't care, but something got in there, and he was so outrageous and so in the public eye that whoever he's got on that list or the people involved that have money too, they're not happy about it. They're not happy about being exposed. He cares about money and being powerful. I'll tell you that right now. Hello, Kathy Rivera. All right, did I miss anything? No. And thank you, Foxy, for gifting the one guilty of crime membership. Appreciate you guys. Always got a negative creep vibe from P. Diddy. Can't stand him, or just crappy music. He's done, knows it, scared, may rot. Agree. Yes, justice for Cassie Ventura. And, justice for her. And thank God that she came out. Pamela Borges, member for 2 months. The wealth and power Diddy used on so many take advantage of up and coming rappers blows my mind. It's a story older than time, right? All right. Mr. Beer, you're right. Turn on gifting if you haven't. Once we hit 250 likes, I'd give back to this wonderful community. Thank you. We're at 243 people in chat. Do hit that like button, especially if you want to get a membership. Thank you guys. And just like it because you like the content that I provide and my mods help me with. I don't know anything about Kim, but she wasn't that old. No, she died of somebody did something to her. It wasn't an age thing at all. That's his baby mama or was. So yeah, definitely. All right, one more, Paul. One more from everybody, and then I'll continue. Oh my God, the big picture here is this secret ring of. Ooh, I shouldn't put that. Chomos are going to be exposed at any crime organization. It has a ring and other rings. That's what everyone's really worried about. Absolutely, and that's what happened to Epstein, folks. Miss Tati 112. Yes, may God always protect Reese. Thank you. Yes, please. That's my number one. That's my number one concern and my number one. Reese is my life. Thank you. He deleted who? He deleted her. All right, I'm not sure, but let's get back into this. And what am I going to show you today? I think what we're going to start with is the disturbing details from the 11 P. Diddy's 11 lawsuits. That's going to help tie it in. And I know there's a lot to talk about. I know we can go for days. Do you know about this person? And did you hear about this? And then we'll get to that. I promise. It just won't be it all in one day. New York mom Adrian, thank you so much for becoming a member. And also I have Synth Server in here. And Synth is going to help me to run my schedule and help me with my schedule and help me with episodes and what I should cover and the content I have and how I'm going to distribute that between this case and that, and to cover more cases that you guys want covered. Somebody close to you, a family member, you, or something that you just feel is unresolved. So give it up for Synth Server for helping out. Yes. All right, let's do this. Let's do and trigger warning. This whole entire case is going to be a trigger warning. So now we're going to talk about from law and crime. Oh, hold on one second. Law and crime has a lot of good information here. And this is going to be the 11, every disturbing detail from P. Diddy's lawsuits. And hold on real quick though, before I do that, wow, so much in this case. Let's get to let's see, Carrie. Where's Carrie? Carrie sent me. Let's see, my address. She sent me the indictment of Diddy. Oh, wow, I got so much. Just the timeline, the indictment, videos after video after video. I'm going to show you the indictment real quick so you can see the different names and such. And gotta get Jay a roof. Yes, we gotta get my room done. I'm gonna put pictures up when we're done. I need my room back, and I need a bed, and I need a place to just be. My back is killing me. All right, I'm gonna show you the indictment real quick. We're not gonna read it right now because I want to have Petty help with that. Oh, it's a black background. All right, so it's 14 pages. Let me just go over it real quickly. Thank you, Synth. And yeah, any help counts. If you guys go chug 99 cents from all 236 people, that's $236 minus what? They take out 30%. All right, so we're all caught up. We're all caught up. That, and that. And I thank you guys. Let's keep going. I'll be right back, y'all. We're well covered. And some days JoJo has her kid and her baby's she's got to do that. Some days, so we have off days, and now we have plenty of people. Thank you, God. Thank God Cassie came forward. It's unfortunate it took this long. I agree. All right. He is in one of the worst prisons in New York, and he wants out. Epstein was there as well. All right, here's the indictment. I want to thank Carrie for sending me that. I don't think she's here right now, but I want to thank her, and I will thank her again. United States District Court, Southern District of New York, United States versus. All right, here you go. Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love is the defendant. So this is a sealed indictment, and I'm just going to go over the counts real quick. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy, right? And this is what the grand jury charged him with. So this is decades of Sean Combs with all his AKA stuff, talking about the racketeering conspiracy. And he's got one count, and they're talking about for decades, y'all. And then the second one, Sean Combs, all the AKs, talk about more of the racketeering. What is the racketeering conspiracy? Yeah. Talking about him operating a business headquartered at various times in Manhattan. Now, this was under corporate entities like Bad Boy Entertainment, and he's got all kinds of different names: Combs Enterprises, Combs Global, Combs Business Included, record labels, recording studio, and a parallel line, an alcoholic spirit business, a marketing agency, and a television network company. Oh, and media. Okay. All times relevant to the indictment, Sean Combs, and then engaged in persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. Physical abuse by Sean Combs, and all that, all the AKAs. Used his business, including employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up abuse and commercial sex. All right. The Combs Enterprise, from at least in 2008 through on or about the date of the filing, which is recent, 2024. The defendant and others, known and unknown, were members of associates of a criminal organization. Wow. Okay. So that's why this is handled by the feds now, and it got so big. Right. I noticed I missed a couple of chugs out there. Okay, so new member and then Sid Serber. Thank you. I should be thanking you. Thank you for the $1 super chat. And go chug. I won't do choo. If you guys don't like it, I don't like it. Thank you. Chug. I might have to think of a different one. I don't know. Chug makes me think about drinking. Pamela Borges, thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. All right, you guys are awesome. Helping me get a new freaking, help me get my house fixed. It's got a boo-boo on it. Thank you, Anna. Let's go over this real quick, and then we'll go through the trigger warning. All right, so we're looking at racketeering conspiracy, and we will. I believe we're just going to do a read-through on one of the episodes, and Petty's going to help us. Purpose of Combs Enterprise, operating a global business in media, entertainment, and lifestyle industry. So in other words, he was just covering stuff up, right? Preserving and protecting, promoting and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of Sean Combs. Did something, musician, entrepreneur, and figure in the entertainment industry. So enriching members and associates of the enterprise, preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing powers of his enterprise, Combs Enterprise, fulfilling personal desires. Wow. That's on there, y'all. All right, he's got a lot of stuff, which I'm not going to go through all of it. Means and methods of enterprise. Among the means and methods, Sean Combs, the defendant, and other members. So I'm assuming they're going to go after the other members and the smaller people, y'all. Right? So this gets into the freak-offs. Talks about the freak-offs, were elaborate and produced sex performances. That's what freak-offs were, and we will get into that, I promise. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise. All right, so just they're talking about the members. They're going really detailed in here. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse, causing the victims to engage in freak-offs. All right, so Combs, which is the name of the company, maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support, and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, y'all. controlling their housing and supplying them with controlled substances. During and separate from the freak-offs, comb, among other things, hit, kicked through objects, and dragged victims by their hair. Woo! There's a lot, y'all. Thank you so much. Don't chug anything at the freak-off. You are right. Kim Black, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Wow, you guys are awesome. Chug, not at the freak-offs. This indictment's crazy. You ready for this, Petty? You ready, Deb, to do this? Not today, though. All right. Employees also witnessed the abuse and other threats that Combs' authority, reputation, and members associated with it engaged in. Violence, sex, financial ruin. Wow. Racketeering conspiracy. So from 2008 until now, I love when they get somebody on racketeering and money conspiracies. It's going to be a big case. It's going to be a big courtroom with lots of lawyers, I bet. All right. So racketeering and then all the things that go along with it, bribery, acts, indictable under the table things. Just imagine things with money and coercion, and that's what it is. Controlling people with substances. They've got all the substances here. Wow. Notice of special sentencing factor from at least 2009 up into including in or about 2018 in the Southern District of New York. Part of his agreement to conduct and participate in conduct of affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity. Sean Combs and then all the AKs agreed to in and affecting interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit a person by any means. Jeez. So then we got count 2 of sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The grand jury for their charges and more since 2009. Forfeiture. See if I can say it. Forfeiture allegations. Result of committing the offense alleged in the count of this indictment. Sean Combs, the defendant, shall forfeit to the United States pursuant of Title 18. It goes into legal terms, and then they talk about the code from 1963. All interest in defendant acquired or maintained in violation of Title 18. Legal jargon. I'd love to see the lawyer Pete, get into this. Microwave cheese. I could always count on you. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Chug. Don't chug at the freak off. He probably has drugs flowing through the plumbing at the mansion. Good Lord. That when Bree told me today, our mod Bree, Gothic Bree, told me about them having GHB inside of the baby oil bottles, that's frightening. That is absolutely frightening. I gotta say, when I was 15, 16, I had this best friend all throughout high school, all the way 222. Y'all say a prayer for, let's start with Cassie. All right, so I was 16, 17, and I had this best friend, 4 years of high school, loved her, and her mom worked for Axl Rose. She still does work for Axl Rose, so I got invited to Axl Rose's house to his parties. Biggest bash ever, Halloween parties, amazing. But you know what could have happened if he was doing the kind of stuff Diddy did? I would have been abused badly, and all of my friends that are girls we went in a big group of girls, went to Axl Rose's house and, drank the drinks that he was serving, ate the food. We stayed at his house, in his house. Axl Rose was just right upstairs, and we were downstairs eating out of his fridge and, right there. So we could have been exposed to that, and something could have happened to us had somebody like Axl Rose gotten involved in this absolutely disgusting behavior. It's scary. It's scary to think that, I was lucky, but it's scary to think that my daughter would come across somebody that, works for somebody like that she loves. Let's say one of her favorite artists, right? She loves Old Town Road, and she loves that song, the Old Town Road song that everyone else loves. Imagine her going to a party And I couldn't say no to that. I couldn't say no to her, you know. I'd probably have to go with her, but I can't. It's so scary that now I kind of have to say no. And thank you guys for saying that was a good comparison, because it's just kind of the stuff that sits there with me. And luckily, it was great, an amazing experience. I got I wasn't a fan of Axl then. My mom loved Axl Rose, so I got her a autograph and I framed it. All right. Franimal the Animal. Always count on you too. Thank you. Thank you. Bill Cosby, the party members. So they were all Jello, Hey Jay, and Guilty of Crime. Thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. Yeah, Axl Rose, man, you tried to marry him, huh? Yeah, he didn't talk a lot, but he definitely talked a few times. He was really picky about. He almost canceled his party because they didn't have enough ice or something like that. But you know, he was kind enough to have us all there and be a great host, and nothing happened. So it was great. Carrie, what's also creepy is anyone who's ever stayed in the Didya property where filmed, not even the freak offs like regular celebs. Right. Right, that's scary. I never did, but what I'm comparing to is that could have happened. Yeah, luckily every band we partied with wasn't up to nefarious crap. You're right. Ah, all right. There were probably drugs being dispersed through the ventilation in the mansion as well. Everybody was probably high on extent. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I remember being a teenager and going to the Axl Rose party, knowing, because I met Slash too. Slash just walked right out, was like, hey guys, what's up? And he didn't have a costume. He was the costume, right? The big curly hair and the hat. And I knew that the adults were going back to the pool house to like smoke weed. I don't know. Maybe they did some coke, but they didn't expose us to it. Thank God. And I can't do choo choo, but I'll do chug chug, chug chug. All right. Now you guys know a little more about me. No ice, no party. That's cold Axel, right? We were so upset. We were like, please don't cancel this. He was pissed. He slammed the fridge and was like, I'm not. Yeah, he's a diva, but I guess he can be. And you know what? He still lives in that same house in Malibu. And you can see Malibu Beach from his backyard. You go in his backyard and look, and it's right there. The whole beach, same house. Not Beverly Hills, Malibu. As a teen, I was willing to let Axl go to jail for me. Oh my God, you're so funny. I like ice. Must have ice. Oh yeah, we had lots of dry ice though. It was Halloween. My favorite time of year. It was Halloween. I got to go to his party. I had a kick-ass costume, and nobody knew who I was. Because there were kids, like kids, not kids, but I guess teenagers. That his mom, my friend's mom, worked for Axl and still does, kind of as a like do everything for him. And we were walking around in costumes. They were like looking at me. Who is that? And I didn't talk. My costume was one that he didn't talk. So anyway, cool experience. Would I ever let Reese do that? Probably not. I'd have to go with her. All right. Let's see. I won't even tell her about it. All right. We're getting back into this. I got a little sidetracked. Committing offense in the count of 3 indictments. Sean Combs, all the names. Any and all property, real and personal, constituting or derived from proceeds obtained directly or indirectly as a result. Ooh. It was used or intended to commit and facilitate the commission. So they're going to take his property if they find him any of this racketeering going towards the gain. All right, substitute assets provision. If any of the above described forfeitable property as a result of any acts or omission, cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold. So he can't just take all of his assets and, put it in someone's name. They're looking all into all that. Has been placed beyond the jurisdiction, has been substantially diminished in value, has been commingled with other property. So they want to take all his stuff. Title 18 is a big one, and then they got the different section codes. I don't know if Lawyer has covered this, but we will get deeper into the indictment. It's really important. All right, y'all. Let's do some more. I can't believe I've been talking for an hour and a half. Do me a favor. If you're here, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share my content if you like how I present it. And yeah, just make sure that you understand I'm doing a deep dive. We're on day one of this. I'm not going to cover it every day, but I'm going to have Synth Serber help me with my schedule so I can better facilitate my episodes and plan them out and be like, okay, this we're got to cover Maddie. It's important to get this out, but I also got to cover the update on, let's say Sebastian, and then I got to do the P Diddy. I want to make sure. Yeah, just want to make sure. He's got all the money in the world, and unfortunately, people with too much money don't know what to do with themselves. Tiff Knox, how you doing? How you doing? All right, Catherine says some stories you cannot tell your kids. Just say nope. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I didn't do anything wrong though. I was pretty innocent. I was an innocent kid, and I just had a blast. But when I look back, I'm like, man, there could have been some things that happened. Emmett McClar, you rock. You're going to push me to be filling up Patreon. Emmett McClar just became a new Patreon member, a $5 one. You're amazing, MM. I love you. And MM and I talk behind the scenes. So, yeah, she's my girl. I have certain people that I talk to pretty often. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I got some work to do with that as a creator in the Patreon community and keeping it good. All right, before I get into this, let me just show you real quick the P Diddy oil. Thank you, Bree, for sending that. I'm gonna drop this down before I get into the episode and show you the Diddy oil. Oh, he looks like an alien. What is up? Look at this picture. Okay, and then I'm gonna show you the oil. I'm so pumped up today because it's Friday. I'm so happy to be here with you guys, but I'm also like, look at this. Paul, is this guy from another planet? Okay, look at this. The oil, this is his house, like his mansion, McMansion. It's not a Mick, it's a mansion. So what he did was take this baby oil and then rebottle it, and they found GHB that was into it. Now, I wish I would know the amount of GHB. Wow, he looks like an alien. All right, who did what? I see people saying thank you. And I really do appreciate all of the donations so far. You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. I need Paul's opinion on this because he really doesn't even look like a. All right, there he is. Paul says, slowly but surely, our freedoms one by one being taken from the U.S. Policies do not override our constitutional rights, just like the Constitution was never meant to be amended. Well, Diddy's going to do what he wants, but I don't know what's up with him. If P. Diddy, he should have marketed like Trump. He looks like he knows he does, but he's also, he just doesn't look like a human anymore. And yeah, that's a shitload. But now we know what he was doing with them. Hey, Rebecca. Thank you for hitting that like button. You haven't seen that yet? He sold his soul a long time ago. Yeah. Klingon. Yes, he looks like a Klingon. He's not of this world. His lawyers. Who's his lawyer, Kristen, by the way? For some reason, I can't think of that. Randy B, what's up? And you guys enjoy it right now since it's day one of me covering the Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Love, Sean, Puffy Combs, Cuff Diddler. There's only 230 people in chat. So enjoy right now while I can see your comments and it's not completely flying by. I'm grateful for that. I get to talk with my favorite loyal people. All right. Yeah, he does. I don't know. That's his face. He's evil. It's like he's turning into what he is. Evilness takes over. Yeah, he looks dead. Rebecca says, preach it. Synth, wait for the best is to come. All right in front of people's eyes. People don't want to see it. Well, we want to see it. This is a new mugshot. This is not old. This is new. You can tell how he's aging too. You can tell what he looks like back then and now. I'm just going to say that. Simply Nikki. Thank you. I love you too. Mr. McMahon. Yeah, you talk about Vince McMahon? Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, he looks demonic. All right. 4 to adore. Mwah, right back at you. Thank you. I love seeing your guys' little thumbnails. Thank you. I think he's going to talk in so many. Yeah, if he talks though, he's going to be unalived. That's all I'm saying. You're not a Patreon. You know what? I'll have to advertise that so you guys know. Let me do my homework on it and I'll get you guys in the right direction. That's what money looks like right there. And I don't even think he has like facial work. It's not like he went and got a facelift and that's what happened. You know how Goodfellas, he takes a bunch of pills and then tells the cop to take him to jail? Maybe he took something. Yeah, I mean, but he looks like an alien. He doesn't even look like he's from this planet. I'll get you guys hooked up with Patreon soon, okay? And I know you guys will love it. We can have like Saturday night chats and not have limits. We can listen to music and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, his eyebrows and he's just weird. It does look like I'm pretty sure that he's more on the gay side than the bisexual side. And a lot of people that are gay or have those kind of feelings for the same sex, they're ashamed of it, especially his generation. They're ashamed, and it's like Jeffrey Dahmer should have just been like, hey, I'm gay, that's how it is. But he hated himself. And he took it out on other people. Yes, best comment of the night, a shapeshifter. Yes. All right. And you're amazing. You guys are all amazing. Thank you, Mr. Beers, for the 5 guilty of crime memberships that you just gifted. All right. Yeah, I can't afford to gift any memberships tonight. I get paid like next week, but right now I'm just like, trying to get through the rest of the month. Teresa Elaine, guilty of crime Discord is nice. We do have Discord, right? Bree and Carly have that. They run that. Shrunken head syndrome. It's not even his head. It's like his eyes are. All right. Well, let's go. I just see a shapeshifter. We're going to drop that out. Thank you, Bree, for sharing that. All right. Another thing I was going to ask you now, thinking about Bree. Okay. Let's ask chat this instead, and then we'll do a deal on that. We have not been timestamping stuff. And Bree, I know I just gave you another task to help out with, to help the, what is it? Reddit, to help in the Reddit group and all that stuff. But we haven't had any timestamps lately. And I wanted to know if you guys, okay, hit a 1 if you want us to continue timestamping our videos. Hit a 2, put a 2 in chat if you don't care if we timestamp or what. Okay, 1 for timestamping. It gives you each timestamp tells you where and what, how to go to. All right. Okay, hold on. Answer text messages. All right, 1 if you want us to continue timestamping, and 2 if you don't care. All right. And keep in mind, when we do timestamp, it helps the algorithm to pick up on certain key things like, oh, Jen Soto did this or so. All right. Thank you. And Bree, you can see that. 1 if you wanted to, 2 if you don't care. All right. We're pretty split. There's a bunch of 2s in here. 1 is yes, 2 is no. Okay. And you guys might not even know what timestamping does or what it is, but it seems like we're pretty split moving forward. Okay. All right. So it does highlight key moments. It does do that. Maybe we could do it a little less if it's too time consuming, Bree. All right, we'll talk behind the scenes, but I wanted to see who uses timestamps. The live viewers won't care the time. So yes. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Let's go into this now. Play. All right, this is every disturbing detail from P Diddy's 11 lawsuits.
Bars in New York after a federal indictment last week. But what led up to these federal charges? A series of civil lawsuits that first sounded the alarm on the shocking allegations against him. We're taking a look at all 11 civil suits filed against P. Diddy and where they stand now that he's been arrested. I'm Sierra Gillespie, and this is Law and Crime News. 54-year-old Sean Diddy Combs, a once beloved and celebrated music artist and entrepreneur, now faces federal charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Diddy was indicted by a grand jury last week and taken into custody at a Manhattan hotel.
Yes.
After that, he was booked in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. He's been denied bail twice since then, a federal judge ruling that's where Diddy will remain as he awaits trial. At court appearances last week, Diddy denied the charges and pleaded not guilty. His legal team has been very outspoken, calling the accusations, quote, the acts of an innocent man with.
Oh man, sorry. I don't know what happened there. All right, and that's a good time. Love you, Jay. What's a timestamp? Okay, you guys are so a timestamp is so when you're looking for something, say you go to my 2.5 hour video and you just want it, you're like, oh, I just wanted to see where Jen Soto said that about the Woody Allen comment, then you'll be able to find what you're looking for. Big highlights of things. So yeah, I think we'll continue and I'll talk to Bree about it. Now we have another mod, so maybe Synth will help out as well. Synth says timestamps are used for when one song or topic switches. So yes, big topics. And we have been doing that the whole time. Just recently we stopped. Yeah, I did it again. Oops, I did it again.
We believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. Agnifilo went on to say that Diddy will likely testify at his trial to explain his side of the story. But at trial, we can also expect some strong testimony from government witnesses, likely in the way of civil plaintiffs, whose shocking allegations are what led to Diddy's arrest and indictment in the first place. There have been 11 civil suits filed against P. Diddy in the last year, and it's only apropos to start with the suit filed by Cassandra Ventura, who you probably know as the singer Cassie. Cassie filed her lawsuit on November 16th of last year under the New York Survivor Act. That act meant any sexual assault survivor could file civil suit against their alleged abuser, regardless.
Now, keep in mind, after we go through this, we went through the indictment and I kind of read it to you, etc. Once we get through this, we're going to start jamming on tying people in. We're going to see Cat Williams and Suge Knight and all of the people. We're going to talk about Bieber's song that you might not have known about. I mean, it's going to be just crazy. You say what? Not guilty of what? Not brushing his teeth. Did he brush his teeth with baby oil? Sicko, freak, dog, no mercy here. Yeah, you know what I'll do? I'll look it up. Yeah, these civil suits, you can look them up. They're listed. I just pulled out a document, but yeah, that's why we want to go there so you guys know the extent of what they're prosecuting him for and what the civil suits are. I do want to. Good night, Chumba. You say good night, all. I do want to look for the freak off behind the scenes and see what I can show you. But let's get through this, and then they'll tell you the freak off is heavily tied into the crimes that he committed. That's a big focal point.
Regardless of the statute of limitations, several other plaintiffs also filed under the same act. In Cassie's 35-page lawsuit, she lays out the history of her allegedly abusive relationship with Diddy that began when she was just 19 years old. At the time, he was 37. Cassie says Diddy began, quote, almost immediately asserting possession and control over her and inserting himself into all aspects of her career and her personal life. That includes things like forcing Cassie to use illegal drugs and have sex with prostitutes as Diddy watched or masturbated. Cassie's lawsuit also states that multiple times each year, Mr. Combs would violently beat Miss Ventura, leaving bruises on her body. He would later hide Miss Ventura in hotels for days at a time to let her bruises heal. We saw evidence of this brutal abuse when CNN released a graphic video showing Diddy assault Cassie in a hotel hallway. The release of that video led to Diddy posting this one.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. Disgusting.
Yeah, we're gonna start roping everybody in. I just saw that Jamie Foxx is in the hospital, and they're saying that Diddy poisoned him. So yeah, sick weirdo. Oh my god, nothing normal. But yeah, there's a lot to share. We just saw this.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
We're disgusted.
I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, I go into rehab. I had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Cassie's lawsuit was settled just one day after it was filed, but the civil suits just kept on coming. On November 23rd of last year, 2 more survivors filed suit against Diddy in New York. Let's begin with Liza Gardner. Liza's allegations date back to New York in 1990. She met Diddy and Aaron Hall at an event, and the pair were handsy with Liza and her friend. Liza and her friend then went to an after party where she, quote, was offered more drinks and was coerced into having sex with Combs. The lawsuit goes on to allege, quote, after Combs finished doing his business, Liza Gardner laid in bed, shocked and traumatized. As she was in the process of getting dressed, Hall barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Liza Gardner to have sex with him. Then, days later, Liza alleges Diddy came to the place where she was staying. The lawsuit says he was, quote, irate and began assaulting and choking Liza Gardner to the point that she passed out. According to Liza's lawsuit, she demands a jury trial, and the case is still open and ongoing. So too is the civil suit brought by Joy Dickerson Neal. That's the other one who filed suit on November 23rd of last year. Her allegations date back to 1991, when she was a psychology student at Syracuse University. Joy knew Diddy because they had mutual friends, and she'd appeared in a few of his music videos. So the pair went out on a date, but Joy says Diddy intentionally drugged her, resulting in her being in a physical state where she could not independently stand or walk. After that, she alleges Diddy raped her and recorded it on video. She found out about this tape a few days later when a friend revealed he'd seen it. The next suit filed against Diddy came from a woman identifying herself only as Jane Doe. Her suit was filed on December.
And this is just going to tell you all the people that came out since Cassie and Just are bombarding him. I don't think there's a way out of this for him at this point. And if something does happen to him or he gets poisoned, I think it's better. Before we get into that, we're about 6 minutes in. Let me show you real quick photos from his freak off. It's like a minute long. Photos from the party show Leonardo DiCaprio, J-Lo, Kim Kardashian, and a bunch of other people. So let me show you real quick so you know and you can visualize what the freak offs are. It's gonna go quick, so you're gonna see these people be like, oh, that's this person. It's crazy. Hold on. I'm looking at it, and this all stems back to the 90s, right? 90s J-Lo and 90s Leonardo DiCaprio. And I think Ashton Kutcher is a lot more involved than we think, and it's probably going to come out. All right, check this out real quick. You guys, I'm interested in what the freak offs are and the people that are there. Look carefully because you're going to see a lot of people in here. All right, so all of this is coming out, and it's coming out fast. And there's Usher. All right, you guys know a lot about Usher, right? So we're gonna tie Usher into this, and I thought he was a good guy. I thought Usher. I know he got abused, but I didn't realize he brought Bieber into it. So we're gonna start finding out the connections as we go. Wow, it's just crazy. All right, let's get back into the people that are suing him. I know there's so many, so I figure we just knock it out in one portion so you know what's going on. Yeah, I love Usher. I don't know what happened, and that sucks.
November 2nd, 2023. While Jane Doe doesn't list her name in the lawsuit, she does list multiple photos of herself and Diddy. Her allegations date back to 2003 when she was just 17 years old and in the 11th grade. Her lawsuit states at this time, Diddy was twice her age and one of the most well-known and influential music artists of all time. She met one of Diddy's friends, Harvey Pierre, who was listed as a co-defendant in her lawsuit at a club near Detroit. So Harvey Pierre says Diddy would love to meet Jane Doe and even calls him on the phone. After that, they take a private jet to New York. Once there, Jane Doe says the evening became a blur, but she was raped by Diddy, Harvey Pierre, and an unidentified other person at Diddy's studio. The next lawsuit brings the accusations against Diddy into 2024, when Rodney Jones, also known as the producer Lil Rod, filed his civil suit. Lil Rod alleges he was, quote, the victim of constant, unsolicited, and unauthorized groping and touching of his anus by Mr. Combs. At times, Lil Rod says Diddy touched his private areas without consent and forced Lil Rod to watch him shower or have naked body massages. He also alleges Diddy was grooming him to engage in gay sex and even forced Lil Rod to have sex with a prostitute. Lil Rod says his allegations are corroborated with hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff.
Yeah, it's all allegedly, right? This is all coming out. Everything's alleged. People that were there, just because they were at the parties, it doesn't mean they did something. But come on, it doesn't mean they did something. So everything is alleged, and now that it's starting to unfold, then we can make our own decisions. And Usher allegedly, I thought he was just a victim, not just. I thought he was a victim. I didn't realize he passed that on to Bieber, but it will come out, I think, and I hope.
And his guests engaging in some serious illegal activity because Diddy apparently required Lil Rod to record him constantly. We believe it was this allegation, proof of the illegal activity on video or audio recordings, that led to the federal raids on 2 of Diddy's homes. Those search warrants were executed on March 25th, and we've since confirmed the feds collected some electronic evidence then, as well as 1,000 bottles of baby oil and personal lubricants. That brings us to the next lawsuit, filed on April 4th by Grace Omar K. Diddy's listed as a co-defendant on this suit, along with his son Christian, or King Combs. She alleges that on December 28th, 2022, while working as a yacht deckhand, she was sexually assaulted by a heavily intoxicated Christian Combs, who forced her to perform oral sex on him. According to the lawsuit, she believes Diddy is liable for this.
Yeah, I am going to bring that up, but I'll bring it up now as well. Clive Davis is all of a sudden having hearing problems. That is where Diddy came from, was Clive. So I wonder if Clive Davis did that to him, and then it went on and on and on. I'm sure it was more than just Clive. However, the government can seize all the POI's bank account. Yeah, and they are. You just saw the document before this talking about that. All right, we're gonna try to keep everything tight and bring it out piece by piece because it's just all over the place.
As he allegedly facilitated the assault by chartering the yacht. On May 21st, another civil suit was filed by model Crystal McKinney, who alleges Diddy sexually assaulted her at his studio in New York. McKinney alleges Diddy gave her a joint laced with narcotics to smoke, and after that, Combs pressured her to imbibe more alcohol and marijuana by telling her that she was acting too uptight. After that, Diddy allegedly forced her into the bathroom, where he began kissing her without consent. Combs then shoved her head down to his crotch before commanding her to suck it. The lawsuit goes on to say, quote, plaintiff refused, but Combs pushed her head down onto his phallus and forced her to perform oral sex on him. After that, she became...
Again, y'all, trigger warning for you. And this video is not going to get monetized. So like if you haven't liked, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and share this with people so that people do know this case a little bit better and they have the facts and the details of the case at hand, not just, oh, did you hear this person said that, or this? No, let's learn the facts, the indictment, the actual paperwork, and who's doing what to who, so we can get it straight. Leanne, you're teaching me new things on this case, Jay. Thank you. That's what I'm here for. And I'm learning as well. Again, all disgusting, trigger warning. It's tough.
Physically ill. The allegations we're talking about today against P. Diddy
we talked about that.
But the plaintiffs filing them are seeking justice for these alleged assaults. And if you're injured, you can do the same. I'm talking about our sponsor and proud partner of Law and Crime, Morgan & Morgan. They have an army of over 1,000 attorneys who will fight for what you deserve. Not to mention, they have a pretty impressive track record of wins under their belt. So if you're...
Sorry, I got sidetracked with your comments. And yes, Paul, absolutely. I don't think anyone's arguing about Diddy's culpability. I just think that it did stem from higher above and then went down and down and it's bigger and bigger. But that's no excuse for Diddy to do that just because he was abused. Oh, sorry.
And forced her down to her knees. He quickly unzipped his pants, exposing his erect penis. He then grabbed her hair, wrapping it around her fist. He then forced his erect penis into her mouth and demanded Ms. Lampros perform oral sex. The lawsuit goes on to describe 2 more instances when Diddy allegedly raped her in 1996 and 2000. As recently as 2023, Lampros was at an event when a guest told the man she was dating he'd seen a video of Lampros having sex with Diddy. This man, whose name was redacted from the lawsuit, shared that he saw this tape during the summer of 1997. Lampros was told that Diddy recorded them having sex without her knowledge, and he would go on to show that video to multiple people. That brings us to June 10th of this year, when Derek Lee Cardello Smith filed a personal injury complaint against Diddy, also alleging sexual assaults. As a note, Cardello Smith is currently behind bars for criminal sexual conduct and kidnapping convictions. He's set to be released in 2026. Now, according to his suit, in the midst of a sexual encounter in 1997, Diddy told him, quote, "Drink this one." And I thought it was another glass of Jim Beam. So I took it because I had sat one down in the other room, and then I drank some more. And I stayed sitting there and began getting drowsy and started to pass out. And then Sean Combs said to me, "I added a little something to it for you. I will get that from you anyway, one way or another." And then I passed out. Cardello Smith alleges Diddy offered him $2.3 million to make this alleged sexual assault go away, but he says the payout never came. A judge initially ordered Diddy to pay Cardello Smith $100 million, but just one day after Diddy's arrest, a judge ruled Diddy no longer has to pay. That brings us to this month, when former Danity Kane band member Don Richard filed suit against Diddy as well. Diddy helped form and mentor the band on MTV's Making the Band 3, and Richard alleges that's where her abuse began. Not only does Richard say she witnessed Diddy physically assault Cassie, but she claims Diddy threatened her life when she offered to help Cassie, saying things like, "You want to die today?" and "I end people." The lawsuit also states that throughout the productions of Making the Band 3 and 4, Mr. Combs deprived Ms. Richard and her Danity Kane bandmates of basic needs such as adequate food and sleep. Richard also referenced some of Diddy's parties, like a specific one in November 2009. There were many well-known celebrities at the after party, and copious amounts of illegal drugs were being openly consumed. Upon information and belief, Mr. Combs had arranged for dozens of young women and girls, some of whom appeared to be underage, to be transported.
All right, so it's like an R. Kelly thing, Leanne. Golden shower, somebody in a sex manner peeing on somebody, and I'm trying to keep my what I'm saying respectful, but it's hard to when we're talking about this, and I'm not editing it because if you've been abused, it's kind of an insult to not really say what it is. It's abuse. Evil Lady says it makes what head even more worse for knowing the pain and then doing it to someone else. Right? It's just a control, it's a control thing. I don't think it's as much of a sex thing as it is a control thing. And yeah, I think Jay-Z and Beyonce are it's gonna come out that they either are more involved than we think, or they just didn't do anything about it. But I think they're more involved, allegedly.
It to the party. That was the last suit filed before Diddy's arrest, but just 1 week after his indictment, another accuser filed suit. That's Thalia Graves, who alleges Diddy and his bodyguard raped her in 2001. According to her lawsuit, Diddy picked her up from her mom's house, and as she drank what had been handed to her, she started to feel lightheaded, dizzy, and physically weak. In retrospect, it is clear that Combs had used a drug to be put into plaintiff's drink, as a few sips of wine had never impacted her this way. Diddy drove Graves to his studio, and when she regained consciousness, she was naked, and her hands were tied behind her back with what felt like a plastic grocery bag. Plaintiff shouted for help. In response, Sherman, that's the bodyguard, lifted her up from the couch and forcefully slammed her face down on what was apparently a pool table. Shortly thereafter, Combs entered the room naked. After that, Graves alleges both men raped her, and after that, threatened her that if she told anyone about it, she could lose custody of her son. That brings the lawsuits filed against Diddy to the double digits, reaching 11 in all. But to dig deeper, we have to bring in law and crime legal analyst Julie Rendelman. So to start talking about civil lawsuits, now we have Diddy, who has been indicted. He's in New York, he's behind bars, he is awaiting his federal trial. But I'm wondering, would any of these charges or the investigation into Diddy have even happened without these civil lawsuits?
It's a great question with no easy answer in it. And I would say that many people think this started with the lawsuit by Cassie Ventura. It kind of opened the floodgates, first of all, for the other civil suits that eventually happened. But it seemed to be something that the federal government honed in on because all of the investigations seemed to happen right after that case was settled, I believe, overnight. So one wonders if not for this civil litigation, would he be in the federal criminal predicament that he is today?
All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Got the daughter here. She what you want to guess why she didn't feel good today? You guys can take a guess and chat. All right, evidence, yes, evidence, but again, every party can be a freaky party. Yes, I wanted to show you guys Bowie. Bowie doesn't come on very often, huh? She doesn't come on very often, but she says hello. This is my baby. Hi, Bowie. Mwah. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I know you guys. Wes is sleeping right now, but Bowie is up and going. She's my baby. They're all my babies.
The major lawsuits that people always go back to are Cassie's and Lil Rod. So let's start with Cassie because she was the first one, as you said, to kind of open the floodgates there. How important is Cassie going to be in this federal case against Diddy? Would she possibly testify? Anything like that?
So remember, we don't know all the details of this case because, as
No,
you
we
may recall in
don't.
the indictment, they don't even mention specific names of any of the alleged victims. We're all guessing that victim number one is Cassie Ventura. And so we assume that she will be integral in terms of the case against Sean Combs. But again, I hate to say we're guessing because that's all anyone is doing in a sense. But remember,
This case is just, it's going to expose so many people. And Paul, you're right, extremely wealthy, prominent, powerful people. Many of the people that you see at the freak offs or in the photos or over the years um, talking about Diddy, and they leak a lot of things, verbal freaking, it's just verbal leakage. They're leaking out the bits and pieces, and we don't take it seriously. But in hindsight, when you start looking at or listening to it, you're like, did he really say that? And what did he mean? There's a pic of Bowie with Diddy. Bowie looks disgusted by Diddy. Everybody should be.
any case against Sean Combs is going to require not just the witnesses. Obviously, a jury can rely on what a witness says, but I think a jury's going to also want corroboration. What other evidence supports what these witnesses say? Is there video? Is there physical evidence? And that's something we know at least one video exists, the one with Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura. But remember, that doesn't make out the bulk of the case. And so what other evidence is going to support and corroborate the witnesses in this case? And time will tell regarding that.
That leads into my next question perfectly because Lil Rod filed suit back in February and he made note to hundreds of hours of video and audio recordings. Right. Like he says he has a lot of these showing Diddy doing some pretty illegal activity. So right there, he's saying, hey, you know what? I have the evidence. Do you think that that allegation could have led to the federal raids that were just the next month when we now that we've seen the indictment know that they did collect some electronic evidence?
Absolutely. I think it's a possibility. I think it's quite frankly a probability that this lawsuit, along with Cassie Ventura's, eventually led to the federal investigation. Again, we haven't seen these videos. We don't know what's on these videos. You know, simply someone doing drugs on a video in and of itself does not make out the crimes of which they're alleging. And Lil Rod, we also know, has some baggage of his own. I think the federal government is going to need and want, and I assume they have, although again, I'm guessing, the corroboration they believe they need to make out a strong case against Sean Combs.
We talked about how in the indictment, it only refers to victim one. So we have all of these allegations, 11 civil.
And if any of you guys are watching the, what is it, the Melly, YN Melly case where there's just a ton going on and it keeps getting delayed, I think this is going to be a crazy trial. And you know there's going to be a trial because he's not going to not fight against it. And he's not going to take a plea. He's way too cocky. Where's Reese's spooky finger? And today, Reese, her back hurt, so she wanted to come home. Now she just took my phone. So if anyone's texting me, I can't text you back. All right, let's keep going. I think I'm gonna bring up one interview of somebody or look up the Bieber song for you guys. But really, I just wanted to get the solid facts in, and we'll go from Suge Knight to Cat Williams to all the people that are telling the truth. Okay.
Lawsuits and all, but only victim one. Could we expect, though, to hear from additional victims or accusers in this case?
Yes, it is certainly possible. Also, don't forget, it is possible that there will eventually be an additional indictment. It is not unheard of for the federal government to indict an individual and then right before trial add additional charges against that person. And so I think it's interesting because when you start to hear some of the defense talks about there being one victim and one victim only. And it leaves those of us who are kind of watching from the sidelines wondering, is it really only Cassie Ventura that's going to be speaking out in regards to what happened? Are there going to be more individuals? One would assume that Cassie Ventura was not a witness to all of the alleged criminal activity that they're alleging.
What happens now in terms of these civil suits? Because Diddy is behind bars as of now. We know that he's moving forward in the judicial system with his own criminal charges. But what about these civil cases? There's 11 as of right now. Are they just on pause?
Well, I'm not sure that they're on pause because certainly their attorneys are not going to want to be on pause. Obviously, if he was found guilty of criminal activity, that could potentially help all or at least some of those civil litigants. But I think each of them are potentially moving forward. Remember, they have separate attorneys, separate clients.
Yep.
They're at different stages of the discovery process. And so I think they're going to be moving, but again, I think probably a slower pace than one would have anticipated. Certainly, I don't expect what we saw with regards to Cassie Ventura when the civil suit ended within a day or a week of the filing.
So Diddy was
Diddy did
arrested
it.
last week, taken into custody. And then this week, we saw an additional lawsuit that was filed by Thalia Graves. She brought forth these allegations against Diddy, and that bumped us up to the number 11. So we're at that number right now. Do you think it's possible that even more civil suits come out?
Anything's possible, Sierra. I mean, anytime there's one lawsuit, two lawsuits, three lawsuits, you're going to start to see people come out of the woodwork. And I'm not questioning their credibility, but credibility is always an issue. And we can't forget that because the natural question people ask is, why didn't you come forward originally? Why are you coming forward so late in the game? What is the corroboration? Just like with a criminal case, what is the corroboration that supports your claims? Now, keep in mind, civil suits are easier because the requirement in terms of what you must prove is much lower than it is in a criminal case, which can sometimes, I'm not saying with everyone, motivate someone to file a civil suit. You're also potentially looking for monetary damages, which can have an influence. Don't forget, if any of these witnesses are now testifying at the criminal case, that's going to be something the defense.
It's going to be hard to get these people to testify. I think the people that may testify is like Bieber. I mean, him coming out with a song like that's crazy. Crazy for him to come out with that Diddy song. I'm trying to find the lyrics to it. Justin Bieber single out about Diddy. Insane. It costs way more than his soul he talks about. Let's pause this for a second and I'll show you that. It's a short. So there's so many people coming out of the woodworks right now that it's almost unbelievable. Oh shoot. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to play this. I will. Screw it. They'll just hold on. I like how they don't let you play music. Hold on, this is what I'll do. All right, let me share it, and I think I probably already played it, huh? Oh well. I'll just cut it out.
Party, didn't know that's how it goes. I was in it for a new Ferrari, but it cost me way more than my soul. Wasn't worth all the fortune and fame. All the girls never walking the same side of paper, so he never has to ever say sorry. Lost myself at a Diddy party. Lost myself at a
That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. Yeah, that song, like he's just straight out saying that. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'll probably have to cut that out. They do not let you they do not let you use music. Paul, who did Ben A leave? He's with J-Lo. No. Clark, J-Lo, and Ben Affleck, or Ben, yeah, it's Ben, right? Ben and Jen are no longer. Okay, this is AI. I did hear that it is AI, but I think Bieber has been trying to speak up for a while, and it makes me wonder. My point is, I wonder if he actually is going to speak up. He's pretty traumatized by what happened to him. All right, we're almost done with this.
Attorney is going to question them on as to whether or not they have a bias, a skin in the game, if you will, to see Sean Combs convicted so that they can have a payoff later.
After Diddy's arrest, he pleaded not guilty to the federal charges against him. A statement from his legal team reads, quote, Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the Black community. He is an imperfect person, but is not criminal. To his credit, Mr. Combs has been nothing but cooperative with this investigation, and he voluntarily relocated to New York last week in anticipation of these charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. That's all for now, but there's sure to be more developments ahead of Diddy's next court appearance on October 9th. For all those updates, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. For Law and Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
All right. Yes. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Okay, who else wants to? We have 205 people in chat. We've been here 2 hours and 8 minutes. Does anybody want to listen to the Suge Knight interview right now? Hit a 1 in chat if you still want to stay here and hang out, and 2 if you don't want to, you're done and you're over it, because we're going to deep dive into this quite a bit. Let me know. I can play it now, or I can not, and we can be done. Either way, we're going to go through this. Okay. It looks like you guys are interested. Suge Knight. He is a very dangerous man, and he's in prison right now. He's going to speak about Diddy from prison and tell us. He's been telling us for years. So was Cat Williams and many other people that were not listening.
What you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you and nobody else to get nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer for no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. Because people think prison is always the answer. I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look at it, that man have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react or get where he got or doing those things or those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true, what's not true. But the true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But for it being happy and proud and say, what do people think? That's irrelevant.
So, Suge.
It's just like I heard earlier today when Ray J was talking to TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I want you to know so many people are going to come out in this. They just talked about Ray J, who's Brandy's brother. Suge Knight is a gangster. He is a gangster. He's true to the streets. He's true to his word. He goes around punking people. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but he will take somebody's life. He's in prison for running somebody down and taking their life. Stella, thank you so much for the 5 guilty of crime memberships. Remember, this is going to get so much bigger. But when Suge Knight talks, you should listen. We should all listen. Listen to what he's saying. He's saying it stemmed from somebody hired. They did it to Diddy. He's doing it to more people. And now he is the GOAT. He is going to be the GOAT in this. And I wonder if he's going to make it out alive.
I got love for Harvey. But I see Charles always got something negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? Yeah, I'm in prison. I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping to 5 o'clock, I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, the fact is, it's not no competition who's going to talk the loudest or talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms unless it be something positive. If it ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying. I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is in what you can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what?
Yes, the Stella train. Chug, chug. What is it? Chugga, chugga, chug. We're gonna do something. Anyway, yeah. So Michael Jackson, Tracy Spacey says Michael Jackson was a victim and the OG and this stuff too. Right. A lot of people are. That's why they got into Hollywood the way they did. But I respect Chris Como. The TMZ thing, I'm probably not going to play TMZ very much because I just find that TMZ is a lot more gossip based and I want facts. So Suge Knight, let's listen to him. And Chris Como.
What's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure, Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about and they were about the same thing. And that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Well, First of all, you got to start with at the top. You starting with the top. Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away. You take Jimmy Iovine. They told me at Universal and Interscope, they said, you know what? We can't deal with artists that gets in trouble. And your artist gets in trouble, they talk crazy. Let's think about what they see. Now, I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now, Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if he wiped the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
but this been going on for a long time.
Hold on, Suge. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is a little inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players.
Telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's just a recording from the prison. That's just saying that they recorded. Which
chug. Thank you, Evil Lady, for the 149 super sticker. I hope you guys are finding this information really well. I hope you find it to be beneficial to learning about this case, because I mean, if you're looking for real information, not gossip, not embellish things, this is what we're trying to do here. Now, I know the Bieber thing, that being said, the Bieber AI song, but he has been trying to cry out for help for years. He's had drug habits, and he's spiraling down. So we want to put out the best information. Yeah, Clive, Stacey Michaels, you're right about Clive. Remember, I always say the world is ran by chomos. That's not the word I use, but it is. It's ran by them, and there's so many of them. Back in the 70s, I think it was the 70s and early 80s, they had an island, those rich guys, and they were all white guys. Most of them were rich white guys that owned an island that they would take boys to, and they would say they're helping them and try to reform them, when in fact they were just abusing them. All right, Paul says, Jay, his mother is worse than he is. She used to be a madam. Did you see the video where they're kissing and both sitting there at the IVs in their hand? No, I didn't. I did not. I watched a lot of the videos, but I like videos that have meat to it. So a lot of the times when they're just clips of stuff, I lose interest, because it's just like a clip. People take a clip of something and embellish it. So no, I like the meaty, juicy things that are real. A lot of those memes and those quick clips, you never know. All right, it might be Star Ellen. I got to look that up. But they used to make pamphlets. Straight up pamphlets in the 80s, and they would mail them to a special group of people, because we didn't have email or text messages. I'm late. Love the topic. Hello. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Lynette, thanks, Jay. You always deliver. And I want to deliver real information, not just gossip channel. That's a great video with the mom. Send it to me. Would you send it to me, somebody? Guilty of crime by jay@gmail.com. Please send me a video that has context, that's not fake. All right.
which obviously they do. Suge, help people understand, what tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I wasn't the first choice to be at those freaky parties. But you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably would.
All right. I just don't like those femme dandy. I won't watch the celebrity gossip channels. I agree with you. There's probably real good information in there, and I'm glad they know the backstories. But that's just not my angle that I like to come from. I like documents, indictments from court transcripts. And that's why I brought Synth servers into the real deal documents and things like that. And Synth is going to school to be in the field of, I don't know if you're becoming a lawyer. Is that correct, Synth? But I just want the real documents. Gossip's cool, but I don't like having to sift through what's real and what's not. And I appreciate that you guys like to watch that. And Sloan, every once in a while, I'll catch that as well. She's got a lot of followers.
Taking offensive when somebody will get their ass whooped. That was me in those days. They used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They could take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second,
Shug. You just look. All you got to do is
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Shug.
Yeah, listen, and also, have you ever been to any Puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it. But if you haven't been in those butt naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something. But I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So everybody, you got to look at it like this. You see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life. From elementary school to junior high school to high school, they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. If you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists, they might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth fix and lipsticks and nose fix, all the work done. Underneath, they still the young with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at Puffy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures. Shit, right? they didn't do everything.
But sure, just because he has plastic surgery, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is. But that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about richer people. I'm talking about the difference. I'm talking about, okay, look at it like this. I look at it real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him. You're right.
Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
Hey, I like to say this too real quick. You got a woman that works for you is really incredible.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Man, let him talk, Chris. This guy, if Suge Knight's gonna talk to you and get on a phone call with you, he knows what's up. I'm telling you, Suge Knight knows what's up. He's been around for forever and a day. Krista, not Snoop. He's just saying Snoop has been there, and trust me, Snoop has been there. I've heard stories of Snoop. I'm in the Bay Area of California, and I've had friends go to Snoop's concert, and it's cool. His wife lets him, they've been married, they're high school sweethearts for 25, 30 years, and he has sex with a lot of women. He lets them, give them blowjobs and such. So he's been around. I'm not saying he's abusing children, but he's been around. Suge Knight's been around, and Suge Knight doesn't play that kind of stuff. He doesn't play that kind of stuff, but he's seen it and he stays back. It's like Ice Cube. Ice Cube's like that too. He knows what's going down, but he doesn't like being involved.
Don't find too many people.
I thought you were about to implicate her in the investigation. I'm just glad you're not implicating Dusty in the investigation, Suge, because I can't take that.
She's not in the investigation.
All right,
but what I want to do for her is, I got to do this for her, but I want to turn her on to this clothing line called Girls Mondays to Sunday. girl Monday to Sunday, and I'm definitely gonna look out for it because I buy a lot of shit for a lot of people from that place. But look, what I was basically trying to say is this: I respect your show and respect what you're doing, but most important thing is there's got to be a solution, because this has been going on in the industry for a whole bunch of years, for decades. And at the same time, you know, nobody wants this to be true, and it shouldn't have to be true. But if we don't fix it and do something about it, history will constantly
repeat itself. Now, Suge, you said something early on that I want to get clarification for the audience. Suge, you said early on, you can't just look at Diddy in isolation. You said this was done to him. He learned from others, and it was done to him, and then he did to others. To me, that sounds like what I hear when people are talking about abusive situations, you know, hurt people, that someone was sexually abused, they wind up being a perpetrator. Is that what you're suggesting about Sean Combs, that he was sexually abused and he now sexually abuses?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think he repeat what was done to him. And like I said, if you look at...
So I've seen this Suge Knight interview, not just on here, but other people playing the Suge Knight interview. I'm pretty sure it's Suge. He also has other interviews, and I'll have to dig them up. It's not even a dig up. I can just look up Suge Knight talking about this topic. They might have went off a little bit on here, and it kind of paused, but I'm pretty sure that's Suge. See, he was scared. Oh, all right, yeah. Diddy's creepy. Suge Knight is like an OG. He's an original gangster. He is a gangster. Eazy-E was a gangster. Eazy-E was part of Death Row Records. He was a gangster that funded NWA by pimping out girls and selling drugs. I'm telling you, these guys they got rich, but they're still gangsters. All right, Jay, you're so right. Let this man speak. Shut up, Como, right? Let him speak.
Russell Simmons, you know the truth. Andre Rail, you know the truth. Clyde Davis, you know the truth.
I saw Russell Simmons at one of those parties, y'all. All right.
Jimmy Iovine, you know the truth. So there's not certain things that all of a sudden you got this. The industry is a quick business. It's been like that for a long time. And the casting couch is real, but it's for women and men. But far from all that, I think the most important thing is I feel like they should let Puffy tell his truth. I'm quite sure he's going to expose a lot of people. I'm sure he's going to move forward with it. But I don't think it should be a situation like the Epstein thing where they found him hanging from the ceiling or dead for the truth come out.
Do you believe
I think
that
the truth need to be...
Do you believe that Diddy is in danger in prison? And do you have advice for him based on what you just said?
Well, the first advice I have, I don't never want to say he's in danger, and neither should he say that. Because once he gets to the point where they feel he's going to be suicidal to himself, harmful to himself, once they put him on suicide watch, you have the rights to nothing. No socks, no drawers, no T-shirt, no blanket, no sheets. You asshole naked in a cell as a crazy man. So he definitely don't want to do that. And the other advice I would tell him, you know, maybe he should get on the Jewish diet. Because the kosher meals is way better than the food somebody else is making for you. At least they're going to come hot. They're going to come sealed, and you got to be the one to open them. That's very important.
What about people trying to hurt him?
Go to jail. I mean, one of the things is this. I don't care who you are. Prison and jail is a negative environment. If somebody can do something to them and get a name for themselves, they're going to actually do it. Or they can do whatever they feel they...
All right, really quickly, Leanne Wilson, of course. Can you give a shout out to my partner, Jay? Please, he doesn't believe me. I'm talking across the pond. Jay Denby, how are you? Shout out from Leanne Wilson to Jay Denby. Happy Friday. All right, let's listen to this guy. I think they're just two separate worlds apart. I think Suge is just another breed, and Chris is having a little trouble understanding him.
We got to do to prove themselves. But we also got to learn. We got to learn from our mistakes. Everything don't have to be a mistake. You got to better yourself. But we all know what we sign up for in life. So if I sign up to be a football player, I knew I'm going to get hit and I'm going to hurt some motherfuckers too. If I signed up to be in the music business and the entertainment business, if you fight for right and being a black man, there's certain things you got to look at for the challenges. If they can't take the money from you, they take you from the money by putting you in prison. That's a fact. In Puffy's situation, he should go and get his time out the way. Not no life sentence. If he can get a lesser time, he should jump on it because he had a great run. I'm in prison right now. I had a great run. So I don't go mad. I don't wake up mad. I've been locked up for 10 years, and I ain't had a bad day yet. And it's a lot of things we can do to help each other, and it's never too late for help. God bless us to have a voice. Let's use our voice. I had told Puffy a while back. I told TD Jakes a while back. Shit, come on, collect calls. We can politic. Because one thing for certain, one thing for sure, he's just not going to walk away with one scratch on it.
Do you think
like that?
Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality, to time, versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Epstein.
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends. He's not a dummy, so he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he been involved with the FBI and most of his career. It's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they doing this to people for control. It's a power situation.
Suge.
And they've been having the power of the, yes.
I appreciate your perspective on this.
Oh, his perspective is dead on. No pun intended. Man, it's a different world. I'm going to say that. Suge Knight's world is much different than Chris Como's, I'm sure. And Chris isn't going to say, I went here and I saw this guy do that. He's not going to talk about that. He's going to say, oh, no, I didn't. I don't know. They be pimping. That's right. I mean, Suge Knight lives in a world where he has a ton of money. But if somebody crosses him, he's still a gangster. He still has that street mentality where he'll hold somebody over the balcony, and if they don't pay him or do what he says, he's going to kill them. And that's why he's in prison right now, because he ran somebody over. Diddy was a joke for it. Yeah, I mean, can we get a well visit check on Chris? I'm thinking that too, Savage Barbie. I'm watching this and I'm like, man, you don't want to piss off Suge Knight. Just saying. I never would want to piss off Suge Knight. Penny Green, $10 super chat. Great show. Thank you. This is the first episode of the Diddy saga. There's going to be a lot to it. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for liking, subscribing. I put my email address earlier. If you guys want to say something or you have something to, talk about, send me an email. We got a lot to cover, and we've got a lot of people's input to incorporate. I've got Carly here that did a deep dive for me, and I didn't even get to a fraction of it. Diddy timeline, Deb Petty Mason, a great timeline by Rolling Stones, New York Times. We got a Truth Finder report on Sean Lee Combs. He was born in 1969, November 4th. He's actually 56. So we got a ton of information to deep dive on P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, and everything that's going on in this this saga. All right. Did you get my email from Asha Degree Case? Mai Tai, I did get it. I've been answering emails as much as I can, and I'll get back to you. Sugar's the least what he portrays, in my opinion. He seems like he says what he means, and he means what he says better than, well, he is. He is exactly what he says. But one thing he's not is a chomo. One thing he doesn't do to him, that's weird sex stuff. What they're doing is weird. He's not into that. He doesn't like that. Just saying, I've heard Suge Knight and I've followed him almost my entire life. Him and all the goings on of Eazy-E and NWA, and yeah, I just know that he's not doing that. Diddy is charging a RICO. He is, and we got a lot more to cover with that. P. Diddy is a malignant narcissist. You know, he got way too comfortable and way too out of control for whoever he's working with. And they're threatened. They definitely feel threatened, and that's why Diddy is where Diddy is. I was born November 4th. LOL. Me and Diddy are Scorpios. My kids are Scorpios too. Y'all are crazy. All right. Crime to remember. I love you. I love each and every single one of you. I am going to be back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Yes, on a weekend, y'all. Gen X says, bye, Felicia. All right. Yeah, this case gets a little bit Suge definitely is again. Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. He's got that prison gang mentality, and the mentality is not to do that. I hope they get it. Those other celebrities, I think they will. The ones that have heavy involvement in this case, I think they will. They will get an arrest. Like the guy from that 70s show. What is that guy's name? He walked in to court and he was getting all the SEX charges, walked in with his wife with a Starbucks every day. Danny Masterson, right? He walked into court every day thinking he was so cocky and he was going to drink his Starbucks and smile at the jurors. He went straight to prison. No go, no passing go, whatever, no collect your money. Ashton's friend. Yeah, right. It's Ashton's friend, Danny Masterson. All right. Sadie's mama, good night. You guys tell me what? Tell me you're going to be back tomorrow at, yeah, it is Danny. Tell me you're going to be back tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are going to go over the potato. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. They came out with a brilliant behavior analysts panel. And I know that a lot of people probably saw other people covering it already, but it's definitely going to be my take on the behavior panel. Those are the things that I live for, is to get these great interviews and react to them and talk to you guys. So yeah, tomorrow's Saturday, fam dandy. So I'm not going to come on at 4. Saturday night, chilling with the homies, 6:30 p.m. my time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. So do me a favor, come on over. Let's hang out. Yeah, I'm waiting for Deception Detective too, Heaven. Paul says before they arrest him, he sat there with his son reading names off of a paper saying they're all people they're going to take down. There'll be no trial. Well, Paul, I'll hold you to that. Notification on. Thank you guys. I love you. Hit that like button on your way out. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it was informative for you guys. Paul, where are you getting your news? Where are you getting your news? You guys talk about that. I'm going to stay out of that. I only report on things that I can see on paper, and yeah, that's it. I love you all. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?